Welcome to Kenan Stadium, where it's Carolina blue everywhere you look, in the sky and in the stands as well, as North Carolina hosts number 14 Miami. It's been a wild ride in the ACC all year long. Boston College and Clemson still fighting it out for the Atlantic title. Clemson already a lopsided win, and they control their own destiny. In the Coastal, unfortunately for Miami, the division has been decided. Georgia Tech blows out Duke. The Yellow Jackets lost head-to-head to Miami, so they needed that win, and they get it, wrapping up a division title. Still plenty to play for the Canes, though. They still have an outside shot at an at-large BCS bid. Hi again, everyone. I'm Bob Wischusen here with Brian Greasy. Thanks for spending part of your weekend with us. And Miami has been a different kind of team on the road so far this season. A very difficult road test today against the best defense in this conference.
Well, it is a great defense. You know, I have to admit, as a former quarterback, I was trained not to like good defense, but I love this North Carolina defense. They are scary, and they are leading the ACC in every meaningful category, only allowing 15 points a game, and they are led by their sophomore stud, Robert Quinn, the defensive end, who last week absolutely terrorized Thaddeus Lewis from Duke. He had 3 sacks, a forced fumble, and 4.5 tackles for loss. He leads this defense, 5th in the country overall. They'll have a good day today.
What makes the matchup even more exciting is that it's the best defense in the ACC going up against the #1 quarterback in the conference in passing efficiency in Ja'Cory Harris.
Yeah, Ja'Cory Harris has really had a great season at times and then been inefficient at other times. 18 touchdowns on the year, but also 12 interceptions. And you see 25 times he's been sacked. He's held the ball a little bit long for my taste, but he needs some help today against this great defense. And Greg Cooper, their running back, has last week 152 yards, a career high for him. He has to get it going today and protect Ja'Cory Harris.
Here come the Heels on Senior Day. A very exciting atmosphere here at Kenan Stadium with 2 coaches that are linked forever. We'll explain when we come back, and we'll have the kickoff in a moment.
You're watching college football, presented by Kay Jewelers.
Take me to the stadium?
Big Bison's fan, huh?
I am now. Hey, take a right. It should be faster.
Whoa, buddy, where's your ticket?
I'm Carl Schaus.
Okay, Carl Schaus, where's your ticket?
I'm on the team. They just called me up.
Schaus, you're leading on. Go.
Stay a step ahead on the nation's fastest 3G network. Now get 50% off these Samsung touchscreen phones after mail-in rebate.
We're cutting the cost of Yuletide, taking the bah humbug out of your budget, and amping up the merry in your Christmas. We're lowering prices on everything you need to make your home and the season more festive, adding more jingle to your pockets and more happy to your holidays. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Come in today and recycle any old Christmas lights, working or not, for $3 off energy-efficient LED lights.
Would you like to go for a ride in that bike? Okay. Whoa, yeah. See, the terms require you to keep the bike in this predetermined space. If you want to take the bike out, I'm going to have to charge you a penalty.
I can't really ride in this little space.
Well, you can't ride very far.
Even kids know an offer shouldn't come with ridiculous conditions. Why don't banks? We're Ally, a new bank whose no-penalty CD lets you withdraw all your money and bring it anywhere without a fee. It's just the right thing to do.
There was a town held captive by an evil gas pump. It fed on people's hard-earned money. But along came the Michelin Man, who reminded them the right tire changes everything. And with fuel-efficient tires in place, that evil gas pump wasn't so evil anymore. Michelin Energy Saver AS tires can help save up to 109 gallons of fuel. Michelin, a better way forward.
Sky, but some thunder a moment ago. Provided by a squadron of F-18 Marine Hornets based in Beaufort, South Carolina, that just flew over Kenan Stadium. And what a perfect day we have for football. Hurricane Ida, or Tropical Storm Ida, the remnants of it battered this area with nearly a half foot of rain over the past few days. But a perfect day for football and a reunion of sorts for Butch Davis and Randy Shannon. A coach and at one point player and one point pupil that spent some of the glory years at UM together. Butch Davis, of course, the head coach at Miami, taking over in 1995, but he was an assistant coach back under Jimmy Johnson from 1989 through 1994. Coached the defensive line and also was the defensive coordinator, winning 2 national championships. Randy Shannon, a Miami linebacker, played under Butch Davis between 84 and 88, and then would go on to be an assistant coach under Butch Davis before returning to Miami. He played with Butch and then served as his linebacker coach 1995 through 1997. Butch Davis came back to Miami to really resurrect that program and take it, Brian, from a point where it was probably at its lowest in terms of its national image. Butch Davis did so much to rehabilitate how we think about Miami's program.
Well, it certainly did, and after he left the following year, they win the national championship with Larry Coker, and a lot of those kids on that team were recruited by Butch Davis. And both of these coaches in their third years at their respective teams, and I really believe have these 2 programs headed in the right direction.
Miami won the toss, deferred their choice to the second half. So it will be North Carolina starting with the football, and Matt Bosher will be kicking off. The Tar Heels now at 2-3 in the ACC Coastal, but they've won 2 in a row against Virginia Tech on the road and last week in their homecoming game against Duke. From the goal line, Searcy will bring it back. And he's tripped up at about the 23-yard line. So TJ Yates, in his career at North Carolina, 2nd overall in yards, 2nd overall in completions, 3rd in touchdowns. Only 1 touchdown pass shy of Chris Keldor for 2nd in the UNC annals. But only 9 touchdowns and 10 interceptions this season, Brian, although a shuffling of so many different offensive line combinations to start the year and 3 true freshman wide receivers that have played a big role.
Been a really challenging year for TJ Yates with 13 players on this North Carolina offense injured during this season. It's hard to get a rhythm when guys aren't on the field.
And he'll go play action on first down. Dump one to Pianalto, and he gets popped after only a gain of a yard. Jared Campbell came up and laid out Pianalto. Ryan Houston, of course, is expected to be the workhorse today. He certainly was last week against Duke.
Yeah, he certainly was. He had 37 carries a week ago. Sean Drawn had started most of the season injured on the first play last week's game, and all of the weight fell to Ryan Houston. He handled it.
And Houston doesn't get much on 2nd down. It'll be 3rd down and long. Stephen Wesley made the stop for Miami. Ryan Houston, as we said, with 37 carries last week. His previous for a career high had been 18 carries, and that was a few weeks ago when they won at Virginia Tech on the road. So he had never carried the ball more than 18 times in a game before this season. And then only a few weeks later, he carries it 37 times, and John Shoup, the offensive coordinator, said, we'll have to load his wagon again today. It's on 3rd down, high, way over the head of his intended receiver, Jeremy Boyd, and it's 3 downs and out for North Carolina.
And this is going to be a key for North Carolina to convert 3rd downs, possess the football, and keep protecting their defense. That's what's been such a success for them this year. Their defense is #1 in all categories because, in a lot of ways, their offense has possessed the ball so much. Have to convert on 3rd downs, and right there, Yates just missed it.
Deron Collier back deep to receive. He had about as electrifying a punt return for a touchdown as you could have last week in Miami's win over Virginia. And Shallot gets off a weak kick that rolls dead at about the 40-yard line. So that's great field position for the Canes. And Ja'Cory Harris, #1 in the ACC and 14th in the nation in passing efficiency. A semifinalist for the Davey O'Brien Award for the nation's best quarterback. And also announced as a semifinalist for the Manning Award as well. 18 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and as you saw, he could spread it around. He certainly did last week against Virginia.
And that's the key to this offense, is spreading the football around, but they have not faced a defense anything like what they're going to face today in this North Carolina defense. Ja'Cory Harris has to be efficient today.
Toss sweep to Greg Cooper. Nothing there on first down. Let's take a look at Miami's impact players.
And against a great defense, you have to be able to establish the run. And it will be up to Greg Cooper today, the running back. He's averaging almost 6 yards a carry. It's critical for him to take pressure off Ja'Cory Harris. Another guy that needs to keep pressure off of Harris is Jason Fox, the left tackle. Draws a tough assignment in Robert Quinn today. And defensively for the Hurricanes, Alan Bailey has had a fantastic season. 3rd in the ACC in both sacks and tackles for loss.
And it's Cooper on 2nd down. Again, he is shut down at the line of scrimmage. May have lost a yard. Robert Quinn, the first man there, as he usually is for North Carolina.
And this North Carolina defense is just too stingy up front. They're 8th in the nation against the rush. And the front 4 for North Carolina is stout. Linebackers are smart. Right there, Robert Quinn, who's mostly a pass rushing defensive end, but you see there he is stout against the run. He's just a freak of nature, size and speed, athleticism, and understands this game and how to play it.
And toss that tackle on top, and Quinn now has 16.5 tackles for loss this season. #1 in the ACC, 3rd and 12. Harris under pressure. Flips one up for grabs down the sideline, has a man, and unable to haul it in is LaRon Byrd.
We talked to Mark Whipple yesterday, the offensive coordinator for Miami. He said you have to stay out of 3rd and long situations because this is what happens. You get a lot of rush. Ja'Cory Harris does a good job getting the ball down the field, and Byrd had a chance to go up and get that ball. Got to go up and get it with 2 hands there. He may have been concerned about a safety coming over and giving him a pop in the mouth.
I think Mark Whipple realizes that was a catchable ball for LaRon Byrd, so both teams go 3 downs and out on their opening possessions. Bosher also the punter. And it's Denarius Searcy deep to receive. Play clock down to 1. They just barely get the snap off. Pretty good kick by Bosher. Searcy calls for a fair catch and fields at about his 15-yard line. No score. Defenses dominate the opening possessions after a 47-yard punt. Heels ball when we come back.
Hello, I'm a Mac. And I'm a PC. Hey, Mac, did you hear the good news? Windows 7 is out, and it's not going to have any of the problems my last operating system had. Trust me.
I feel like I've heard this before, PC.
What? Windows Vista's here, and it's not going to have any of the problems that Windows XP had. It's not going to have any of the problems that Windows ME had. It's not going to have any of the problems that Windows 98 had. It's not going to have any of the problems Windows 95 had. It's not going to have any of the problems Windows 2 had. Trust me. This time it's going to be different. Trust me.
So, honey, you know that guy at the bank we met with? I like that idea you had about
running a marathon. I'm saving for retirement. I got plans. I'm thinking of
biking to work. The amount of money I save on gas, I've been able to
take hotel shampoo bottles when I travel. I haven't paid for that stuff in years.
At Citi, we know everyone's talking about saving, and we've got lots of ways to help with smart ideas like AutoSave. Because when you save a little today, it makes you feel good about tomorrow. That's why Citi never sleeps.
I mean, you bust your hump down the chimney, stuff the stockings over and over and...
people still don't believe.
Oh? What do you know about a new guy?
Diet Dr. Pepper has 23 satisfying flavors, no calories.
Yeah, right. Give me that.
Sweet chocolate candy, marshmallow, jelly bean. That is good.
So you want people to believe there's a satisfying diet drink?
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that one, bub.
What's going on, big guy?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, you're gonna love this. I'm wearing my new Hanes boxer briefs.
Oh, yeah?
They don't ride up your leg. Check it out.
Underwear that stays put, only from Hanes. That's the Comfort Fit promise.
Introducing Wing Street Wings from Pizza Hut. Now you can have a real wing night at home with Wing Street's traditional crispy bone-in and bone-out wings. And our award-winning sauces.
They rock.
Wing Street Wings, delivered only by Pizza Hut.
ABC Sunday, David Duchovny joins the Extreme Team and helps reunite this survivor.
Oh my God.
With the man who saved her life.
It was an awesome thing to witness.
ABC's Extreme Makeover Home Edition, all new Sunday, 8/7 Central on ABC.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
A tough season at times for North Carolina offensively, and TJ Yates without a lot of his starting offensive linemen at the beginning of the season, finally getting his starting 5 back, but still without Sean Drawn, out for the rest of the year. The leading rusher for North Carolina fractured a shoulder last week against Duke. Also, A.J. Blue, the freshman tailback that they really think has a lot of potential, gone for the year with a torn ACL. So it's Ryan Houston up the middle for a yard. He was the workhorse last week, and Brian, we expect that he's going to be the focal point of their offensive attack in the absence of Drawn.
Well, and they really had a good thing going with Drawn and with Ryan Houston. Ryan Houston was their third and short back. He was their goal line and red zone back, and Drawn was their back out in the field, and they had a good thing going. But now they've lost 3 running backs to injury on the season. They've lost 3 offensive linemen. Their tight end was out for a significant amount of time. It's just been tough for this North Carolina offense.
An end around. Jay Boyd somehow dodges a tackle in the backfield. And there goes Boyd with a first down and more. He turned what could have been a 4 or 5 yard loss into a 20-yard gain.
Well, Colin McCarthy had him dead to rights in the backfield, read the reverse. You'll see McCarthy come up to field number 44, and Boyd just has a tremendous pirouette right there and is able to get out of that tackle and get downfield and have a positive play. Boyd's a freshman, true freshman this year.
Back to Houston, right into the heart of that UM front 7. No gain on first down. The starting lineups for both teams at the top of your screen. The North Carolina starting offense features so much youth, and there's so much youth across this roster. The Heels only have 2 starting seniors on offense and 2 starting seniors on defense. So Butch Davis has really the heart and soul of his team all coming back next year.
And he's trying to build this program from the bottom up, and the experience is invaluable for these young players on offense and defense.
Yates under pressure. This pressure comes right up the middle from Josh Holmes, and Holmes gets the sack.
Josh Holmes just does a great job on Jonathan Cooper, the left guard. See him right there, number 92, and Cooper just whiffs, and Yates did not have a chance to step up and throw that football. Cooper is just a redshirt freshman, and he was clearly outmatched with Josh Holmes right there.
Still one of the best 5. According to Butch Davis and John Shute, they, for this week, the 2nd week in a row, finally have their best 5 offensive linemen on the field. And now Miami calls a timeout defensively, so we'll step aside. Early on in the first quarter, both defenses have carried the play thus far.
I have a little boy. Memories are so important to me. How many times do you reach down and you're looking for your camera and you just can't find it? The cell phone's always right inside your pocket. It's a smartphone. It can do it all. 5-megapixel camera, Facebook, email, Twitter, update, click, record things in high definition. This holiday season, come into Best Buy. You're given the gift of communication.
Come to Best Buy for the 3 hottest phones from Sprint: the HTC Hero, the Samsung Instinct, and the Instinct HD.
We do cell phones, and we do it better than anybody else.
Excuse me. When you get a minute, can... When you get a minute?
Not too heavy, not too light. Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
ESPN's College Football on ABC. Presented by Kay Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. Pacific Life. For insurance, annuities, and investments, choose Pacific Life. The power to help you succeed. And Bud Light. With the just right taste that's not too heavy, not too light. The difference is drinkability.
Well, you think North Carolina's a basketball school, and it is. How about 19 national championships for the women's soccer program? And you see all the way up there in the far right corner, 1989, down through 1992-93. That was when Mia Hamm was here at Chapel Hill, dominating women's soccer. And it is a legendary women's program. Butch Davis can build a football program that excites these people the way the basketball program obviously always has. This could be one of the premier sports schools in America, if it isn't already.
Great athletics here at the university throughout all the different sports, and most important thing, great academics to go with it.
After the timeout by Miami on defense, 3rd and 15 for Carolina. Yates up the seam, threw it way behind Greg Little. If Little is able to make that catch, he's right at the first down marker. Chavez Grant was there in coverage, but Yates threw it way behind his wide receiver.
Yeah, it was a good protection in the pocket for Yates. And you're going to see coming from the left side of the screen here, he's open. Greg Little's open. Just need to put the ball in front right there, and you had a first down. Those are the types of throws that T.J. Yates has been a little bit off in the past month of the season. Needs to connect on those if they're going to beat a good Miami team.
Ryan Shalek again with the punt. Again, a mediocre punt down the right sideline. Although it takes a Carolina roll to the 22. Well, last week, things changed mightily in the chase. In the Dickies 500 at the Texas Motor Speedway, 3 laps in, the leader and the presumed champion, Jimmy Johnson, leaves the race for about 90 minutes. He came back and got a few points, but it's still all there for Jimmy Johnson to take as we've got 2 races left in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Coverage begins at Phoenix Sunday at 2:30 Eastern on ABC, presented by Goodyear. Ja'Cory Harris down the sideline for Bird. Jump ball. Intercepted. Picked off by Searcy.
Well, it's been live or die for the Miami Hurricanes with the long ball this season. And right here, Ja'Cory Harris gives LaRon Bird an opportunity to go up and get the ball. And as you throw that ball as a quarterback, you're trusting the wide receiver to either catch it or knock it down. It's just a tremendous play by Denoris Searcy to go up and come down with that football and put his offense in good position.
Searcy with North Carolina's first turnover of the day and the 13th interception of the year thrown by Ja'Cory Harris. Great field position for the Heels. Anthony Elzy breaks a tackle and picks up 3 yards. Brought down by DeMarcus Van Dyke.
DeMarcus Van Dyke, number 8 on the tackle.
And this North Carolina defense has been so good, so strong all year. The scary thing is in the last 4 games, they've started to get turnovers. They've had 11 turnovers in the last 4 games. And when you combine being number 1 in the ACC against the rush and the pass and only giving up 15 points, and then you start taking turnovers away, that is a perfect storm for North Carolina defensively.
Johnny White's now in at tailback. He takes the handoff. And he might have lost a half yard. Alan Bailey knifes down to make the tackle. And that was the player that John Shoup told us, Brian, he was most worried about because they moved Bailey all over that defensive line. We'll see him line up inside, outside on both ends. And he was worried they weren't going to be able to account for him all the time.
Yeah, he played mostly at the defensive tackle position at the start of the season. And then in the Clemson game, they started to move him to defensive end. And he's really started to come into his own and show his athleticism on the outside, sacking the quarterback and getting those kind of plays, tackles for loss.
Here comes the blitz on 3rd and 7. And a low throw. Yates was backing up and short hopped it to Elzy with Darryl Sharpton pressuring him on the blitz. And again, it's 3 downs and out. North Carolina does nothing with the turnover.
And this has been the Achilles heel of Carolina all year. Good defense, get a turnover. Your offense wants to do something, and they go 3 and out again. And right there, Miami comes a little bit of pressure. And Greg Little was open right there on a little return route. And T.J. Yates now has missed on 3 third-down passes where he had potential conversions.
North Carolina's 3rd punt in the first 7 minutes of the game. And Collier with a fair catch at the 20-yard line. Only a 35-yard punt. So Ja'Cory Harris bailed out by his defense as he throws interception number 13 this season. And Mark Whipple told us when we talked to him last week that when Ja'Cory Harris concentrates and focuses on the lessons he's learned, he thinks he could be as good as any quarterback that's ever played at Miami. Now, That's saying something. There's a Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks that have called Miami home.
A lot of good players down there, but Ja'Cory Harris is a talented individual. He can throw the football, he can move, he's smart, and he's cool under pressure, which is what Mark Whipple loves.
Draw play, Cooper. 2 yards. Juan Sturdivant made the stop. And Ja'Cory Harris has also had to deal with running back injuries the same way that T.J. Yates has for North Carolina. Javaris James is back, but he had been out. He was a 150-yard rusher back in the game against Oklahoma earlier this season. And Damian Berry has scored a touchdown in 5 straight games. All of that on top of Cooper.
Yeah, but those 3 guys right there are pretty good. I think all those guys will play at the next level at some point. So it's not a matter of losing a guy. It's just plugging the next one in for the Hurricanes.
Harris throws one out to the flat. Travis Benjamin stopped about 2 yards shy of a first down. As we check in for the first time this afternoon, find out what Matt Weiner has for us in our Times Square studios.
Thanks very much. I'll be here throughout the game with your headlines and highlights from across the country. Let's start with this Taco Bell update. #1 Florida at South Carolina today. How about this for a start? Tim Tebow's first pass of the day hits Riley Cooper on the run, and he keeps on running 68 yards. And the Gators up early in what is their final road game, true road game of the season.
All right, Matt, thanks very much. 3rd down and a short 2. Berry is the tailback. Tries to turn the corner, and he's got the first down. Broke the tackle of Kendrick Burney on the edge.
And Burney did a good job of fighting off the block from the wide receiver on the edge and just didn't make the tackle when he got in the backfield. You see him at the top of your screen. Right there, had a chance to stop him behind the line of scrimmage. Good job by Damian Berry sticking with the play, getting outside, getting the first down.
The first down for Miami. North Carolina also with 1 first down offensively, and Javaris James now in the game for the first time. To Harris's right. A quick hitch instead to Collier. And Theron Collier picks up 8.
This Miami offense has a lot of weapons. Mark Whipple has a lot of things at his disposal. Last week, as we mentioned, 13 different players caught a ball from Ja'Cory Harris. If they're going to be successful against the Carolina defense, they're going to have to run the football and use screens like you just saw in that last play to keep this defense off balance. They can't just line up in one back and high backs and think they're going to run the football or drop back 7 steps and throw the ball. This defense is too good. They have to keep them on their heels.
To Berry again. Check that Cooper. And he's a yard shy of the first down. Jimmy Johnson again with the crash in Texas. Opened the door for Mark Martin. With just 2 races left, the pressure is on as the chase heads west. It's the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup continuing in Phoenix. Coverage begins tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern on ABC. The telecast presented by Goodyear. For more information, you can log on to ESPN.com. 3rd down and 1. Cooper. Very close to a first down, and if he got it, he earned it. Alaric Mullins finally finished him off. Depends on the spot. He is right at the first down marker.
Might be one of the best 1.5-yard runs I've seen in a while right there.
And it still might not have been good enough.
There were 2 defensive players. I think McAdoo from number 94 had a chance in the backfield. Right there, 94 had a chance, and then Austin, and just a tremendous effort by Cooper. It looks like he was right at that yellow line.
He's just got it. That is literally by the nose of the football.
Well, you got to reward good effort right there, don't you?
Butch Davis has a great front 7, but Brian, you watch them on film. How many different looks does North Carolina employ?
Well, you know, we were talking with Everett Withers, and especially on 3rd down, he never wants to give the offense the same look on 3rd down. He said he learned that from his time with the Tennessee Titans and Jeff Fisher, that you never want to give an offense the similar look on 3rd down. It's their key to success.
Play action. Harris under pressure, hit as he throws into triple coverage. and it's knocked away. What an effort by Travis Benjamin, and what a wallop Ja'Cory Harris took. Quentin Coples came up the middle and just buried him. It's amazing he threw that ball as far as he did with the hit he took.
Well, you can't question Ja'Cory Harris's toughness right here. Sometimes you got to hold on to it. Coples comes in. That's a vicious hit. But to get the ball down the field and give Benjamin a good throw, an opportunity to go up and make that play, just a tremendous effort by Ja'Cory Harris, and sticking in the pocket and taking that hit. Not every quarterback will sit in there and take that hit. Ja'Cory Harris is a tough character.
Am I standing next to one that would stand in there and take that hit? Cooper tries to turn the corner, and he's brought down after about a 5-yard gain. It'll be 3rd down and 5. And let's look at the impact players for North Carolina. They're all on the defensive side of the ball. That's how good this group is.
Yeah, they're all over the place. But Marvin Austin's a big athletic tackle whose sole responsibility is to be disruptive in the middle of the field. He'll be in the backfield a lot today. Juan Sturdivant's the undisputed leader of this defense. He's a Butkus Award semifinalist. And in the backfield, Kendrick Burney will handle the duties against a talented group of wide receivers from Miami.
3rd down and a long 5. Harris, high throw over the head of Benjamin.
Ja'Cory Harris had Benjamin open against the zone coverage. You see him right here is Benjamin. Harris does a good job waiting for the hole to open up and just threw the ball high. It's critical in this game for both Miami offensively and for North Carolina on offense to convert on 3rd downs against these good defenses. And early in this football game, neither offense has been able to convert 3rd downs.
And you can see on the sideline the education of Ja'Cory Harris continues with Mark Whipple. Kendrick Burney this time back deep for North Carolina. Osher punts it away again. Another good kick. Spiraling kick. Heading towards the end zone and takes a hop into the end zone. A defensive struggle here in the first quarter. No score between Carolina and the Canes.
You're watching college football presented by K Jewelers.
In all the years we've been coming here, I've never seen a storm like this. I'm right here, and I always will be.
The new Love's Embrace collection from K Jewelers. Now you can surround her with the strength of your love. Give her diamonds in a design that captures the comfort found in each other's arms. One more reason K is the #1 jewelry store in America.
Don't let go. Ever.
Every kiss begins with K.
Retirement. It may be a long way off, or another adventure waiting just ahead. Pacific Life can help provide a dependable income you can enjoy for the rest of your life. Because retirement could be a very long ride. Ask your financial professional about Pacific Life. Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed.
A robot is a thing that does. Need a rock crushed? It does that. Need a hole punched through a steel wall? It does that too. So instead of a smartphone, we made a robot phone. A phone that does. Does have a giant screen. Does run thousands of Android apps with axle-greased ease. Does swap semi-functional giggling brat vanity for a bare-knuckle bucket of does.
Our bottom line is not looking good. We're losing customers left and right because DirecTV has the best HD picture for any flat screen.
And it's in full 1080p.
Look around. Someone at this table will not be here next week. It's me! Going to Barbados, folks. Good luck with that whole DirecTV HD thing. Sounds hard. See you later.
Switch from cable and get the best HD picture on your flat screen. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
An all-new Desperate Housewives, Sunday, 9/8 Central on ABC.
Is there anything like a 65-degree fall day in the Carolinas here at Kenan Stadium in Chapel Hill? No score between number 14 Miami And UNC, the Heels back to the offense at their own 20-yard line. They only have 1 first down offensively so far in the first quarter. Yates on a play-action roll. Up the sideline, there goes Ramsey, the fullback. Near midfield before he's brought down. A gain of 28.
And there was an accurate throw from T.J. Yates. Not a big window to fit that ball into the fullback. Coming out of the backfield, Jared Campbell, the safety right there, had an opportunity to knock that ball down, but a good throw and a good catch. Get some momentum going for this UNC offense.
Loss of 2 as Curtis Porter throws Ryan Houston down. As we take a look at the Miami starting defense at the top of your screen, a 4-3 group, but also a group that's hard to identify. We talked about earlier, Brian, because of how often they will now move around Allen Bailey specifically.
Well, they will, but first and second down, they're going to line him up and let him play. But Curtis Porter is a true freshman, 6'1", 315 pounds, and Randy Shannon and John Lovett, the defensive coordinator, are really excited about his potential in this defense.
Shovel pass. Into plus territory down to the 46-yard line of Miami. An 11-yard gain as Mywan Jackson, who's listed as a cornerback on the North Carolina roster, in with the offense and catches a shovel pass.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of different looks from this North Carolina offense. John Chape, the offensive coordinator, has done a tremendous job this year with all the injuries on this offense to find ways to move the ball and to win football games. It's not easy when you have your best players on the sideline injured to move the ball, but he has found ways to run the football creatively and give his team a chance to compete.
And North Carolina calls timeout, presumably for the purposes of the play-by-play guy and the color commentator to look into the huddle and see if they've thrown any other surprising defensive players out there on offense. John Chape didn't share that one with us yesterday. Keep your eyes out for the true freshman third-string cornerback. We may throw a shovel pass to him.
And here's John Chape right here. He is got this team, I think, in position to compete. You know, it was difficult early in the season when losing Hakeem Nicks and Brooks Foster to the NFL. Brandon Tate was a second-round draft pick, another wide receiver. 3 guys gone, and it is not easy to find ways to move the ball. They're going to run the ball inside with Ryan Houston. Then you're going to see block sweep reverses on the outside. Creative ways to get the ball down the field.
And Chape's got an amazing resume for a young man. A 30-year-old offensive coordinator at one point for the Bears under Dick Duran. One of his quarterbacks was Brian Griese in Chicago. So there's your old offensive coordinator. It was like old home week sitting down with you and him yesterday.
He coached me when I was in Tampa with John Gruden. He was the quarterback coach. And he's always prepared. That was the thing I remember about John. He was the most prepared coach I've ever had in my career.
3rd and short. Yates on a bootleg. Finds Pianalto for a first down.
And this is one of the things T.J. Yates does really well. And when you can't block up front really well, you can move the pocket. Little play action, naked here, and a good throw back across your body to Pianalto. Pianalto is back now, and he's helped this offense. Last week he had 5 catches. All 5 were for first down. So T.J. Yates has missed his security blanket, his tight end, Zach Pianalto. Sorry, I'm here.
Greg Little on a counter handoff, and there was nowhere to go.
Well, there was nowhere to go because he ran right into his offensive tackle, Kyle Jolly. It's hard enough to get yards against this good Miami defense, but right here you'll see some of the creative runs that North Carolina employs, and right there he runs into his offensive tackle, number 72, Jolly, and I think he'll have a few words for him when he comes back to the sidelines. Hey, man, I need some help. I need you to block, not tackle me.
Well, that'll take us all the way down to the end of the first quarter, as North Carolina doesn't need to run another offensive play. So a defensive struggle, exactly what we expected. 2 offenses that at times this year have struggled, but 2 defensive coaches, Butch Davis and Randy Shannon. No score at the end of the first quarter here at Chapel Hill.
You know, I sell tools. Tools are uncomplicated. Nothing complicated about a pair of 10-inch hose clamp pliers. You know what's complicated? Shipping. Shipping's complicated.
Not really. With priority mail flat rate boxes from the Postal Service, shipping's easy. If it fits, it ships anywhere in the country for a low flat rate.
That's not complicated.
No.
Come on.
But handshake?
All right.
Priority mail flat rate boxes. Only from the Postal Service. A simpler way to ship.
An accident doesn't have to slow you down. From new car replacement and guaranteed repairs to accident forgiveness, we do all we can to help you move on. Liberty Mutual Car Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy?
Well, I'm missing all the times we had together. You and me hanging out whenever. Why do we have to hide this thing we have? It's just not right. I'm so glad we're finally here together.
Your Windows stuff goes where you go. New Windows Phone at AT&T.
ABC Tuesday at 8/7 Central. For centuries, we've wondered if there was life out there. Now, we know.
Don't be frightened.
The season's most entertaining new hour is ABC's V.
Why don't they just annihilate us and get it over with?
They need us for something.
ABC's V. All new Tuesday at 8/7 Central on ABC.
Every year, the stars get bigger, the moments more memorable. But this year, the American Music Awards are going off the charts.
Performing live.
Black Eyed Peas, Jennifer Lopez, Lady Gaga, Green Day, Whitney Houston, Carrie Underwood, Adam Lambert, Rihanna, Shakira, Daughtry, Kelly Clarkson, Eminem, Janet Jackson, and a duet with Jay-Z and Alicia Keys.
Wow.
And the winners are all up to you.
I'd like to thank my fans.
The American Music Awards, live Sunday, November 22nd on ABC.
The head coach of the defending national champions in basketball, already with his North Carolina Tar Heels off to a good start, and Roy Williams will join us coming up in the third quarter here at Kenan Stadium. Fresh off of not only starting off the season with a couple of wins, but it being announced that he landed, by many scouting services prognostications, Harrison Barnes, the #1 recruit in America out of Ames, Iowa. And another great recruiting class, as it always is at North Carolina. They don't rebuild, they just reload.
The rich get
every
richer.
year. No kidding. Houston cuts back inside the 30-yard line for a gain of 2. And let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Not even 100 total yards between the two teams offensively in the first quarter.
Well, we expected a defensive battle coming into the game. And I really think it's going to come down to third downs and conversions. And Miami's been a little bit better than North Carolina early in this game. Those couple missed throws by T.J. Yates, but now he's got them going on this drive. He's 3 out of 3 on this drive for 53 yards, and they're knocking on the door.
Big play here, though, on 3rd down and 8 to keep the drive alive. The slant is there to Little. Breaks a tackle. There goes Greg Little. Touchdown. Tar Heels.
Miami came with a cover 0 blitz, all-out blitz, and a good job by Yates reading it and feeding the ball to the beast right there. Greg Little, his best receiver, and broke 1 tackle, and it was off the races.
Casey Barth, the former walk-on, and the younger brother of Connor Barth, who's the all-time field goal leader at North Carolina, tacks on the extra point. Greg Little gets loose for his 3rd touchdown reception of the season.
Of art, a finely tuned machine, a
sanctuary, a command center, a sophisticated sedan, a sports car. Nissan Maxima, the ultimate dual threat. Now get a 2009 Nissan Maxima for 0% APR financing for 60 months. Nissan, proud partner of the Heisman Trophy.
My top pick this season, Applebee's 2 for $20 game time lineup. Let's break it down. 1 appetizer to share, 2 entrees. Final score, $20. This deal could go all the way. 2 for $20, only at Applebee's.
Hey, Ham, what do you think the fine is for streaking?
I don't know, like $300-400? Why?
Sorry.
The more you save on insurance, the more you'll have for football. Are you in good hands?
Hello? Dave, what's going on? Hey, man, you sound great. Did you get a new phone? Nope, switched to Vonage. Sound quality's incredible, right? It's like you're in the room. Yeah, it's only $24.99 a month. It's like you're literally right here. Yeah, it does sound good. It's Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Karen. Bill says hi.
High quality sound. And now with Vonage, get unlimited calls around the world. Call now, 877-4Vonage.
ABC Wednesday, Modern Family has 2 big reasons to watch. Edward Norton and Elizabeth Banks.
You want to touch him?
I'm gay, not dead.
ABC's Modern Family, all new Wednesday, 9/8 Central on ABC Comedy Wednesday.
T.J. Yates to Greg Little gives North Carolina the lead.
Yeah, and a great job by T.J. Yates of recognizing an all-out blitz and getting the ball to Greg Little, his biggest and most experienced wide receiver. John Lovett, the defensive coordinator for Miami, decides to take a risk and come after this North Carolina offense right at the fringe. They're trying to get him out of field goal range, and good job by the offense of converting and executing for the touchdown.
Like that technique as well. When I want to listen to John Shoop, but I don't want to really listen to John Shoop. Let's put a towel over my ear.
John gets excited during these games. He's a very excitable guy, so TJ is trying to get a buffer right there.
Short kickoff. Mike James from the 15-yard line. To the 28 before he's brought down by Johnny White. Another look at the touchdown.
Yeah, let's go back and I'll show you exactly what happened. You're going to see there's nobody in the middle of the field. Miami defensively leaves Marcus Van Dyke one-on-one at the top of the screen, and Greg Little runs a slant, and all you got to do is break 1 tackle against a 0 blitz, and it's all she wrote. And good play call there by John Shoop, expecting the blitz, getting the ball out of his hands. T.J. Yates, what he needs to do is to build his confidence. He was 4 of 4 on that last drive, and he was the reason that they were able to score on the Miami's defense.
Corey Harris on a play-action rollout. Has Bird wide open. Can he stay in bounds? He does. Added on about 10 yards to the end of the catch to the 48-yard line of North Carolina. Charles Brown upended him, but it's a gain of 24 to LaRon Bird.
And how does a receiver get that wide open? He must have fallen down. Charlie Brown at the top was covering Bird. I think he fell down, but that was just too easy right there. Not typical of this North Carolina defense. You see Mark Whipple as well trying to move the pocket and avoid the intense rush.
42 defense. That's 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
That's Robert Quinn called for a personal foul. The flag thrown late just as the play was ending on the far side of the field. That's the first flag thrown today against either team, and it turns into a 39-yard play all in.
And here's Quinn right here with Orlando Franklin. It was just back and forth, and the second offender always gets caught. You know, Franklin could have been called there too, but Quinn reacted, and he's the one that gets called. It's not typical for Robert Quinn, who's a mild-mannered individual, quiet guy, a leader on this defense, understands the importance of discipline and a team guy. Sometimes in the heat of the battle, you just can't help but react.
Harris finds Hankerson. Gain of about 3. As long as Matt Weiner doesn't mention Michigan, he's Brian's favorite guy. Let's go back to our Times Square studios. Check in with Matt.
Absolutely not. I know better by now. This is a Verizon Wireless Studio update on Florida and South Carolina. The Gators took a 7-0 lead. Carolina comes back with a 14-play drive. Meanwhile, USC has turned it over twice. Stanford has converted both to touchdowns, 14-0 in LA.
All right. Brian picked Stanford against USC. No mention of Michigan, so we're all good with Matt still. Harris wants the screen. They've got it set up to Berry. Damian Berry inside the 10-yard line. Close to the pylon. Reaches for the goal line. Out of bounds at the 2. What a run on the screen by Damian Berry.
Wow, tremendous effort by Damian Berry. And I'm not so sure he didn't stay in bounds there, but great job by Berry. And when you go against a good defense and they're rushing the passer, screens can neutralize that pass rush. And right there, Sturdivant, 52, misses a tackle, but a great effort at the end. And it's very close whether he went out.
Well, they marked him out at the 2-yard line. They have not buzzed down as of yet to say they want to review the play, and it looks like Harris will run the play to Berry again. No, they're now going to blow it dead and say maybe that they buzzed down from the replay booth before the play even began. No, they're going to say Miami called a timeout.
Miami, second timeout of the half.
Miami called a timeout from the sideline, and it looked as if with both teams, I think, not paying attention to the whistle and running that play full speed, that had they not called a timeout, Berry might have scored a touchdown. So with Damian Berry setting up the Canes 1st and goal at the 2, we'll step aside.
Hope I don't miss work this Christmas.
Yeah, how will you pay for things like food, electricity?
Bingo bills.
Gadzooks! You need a backup plan. That's why we have Aflac.
So I'll have cash to help pay bills.
Right, but what if you're still not better by Christmas? Aflac, we've got you under our wing. Rudolph's better, but now Blitzen's sick.
Before you ever love it, the Nissan Altima goes through over 5,000 tests. No wonder J.D. Power and Associates ranked it highest in initial quality. The new Nissan Altima, quality you can love.
I like a nice ham. You think that's wrong? We're just enjoying the flavors of a fallen friend. True. I'll tell you what's wrong. A cell phone company that charges hidden fees. That's why I got Boost Mobile. Their $50 monthly unlimited plan has no hidden fees.
$50 unlimited talk, text, and web on a dependable nationwide network. Learn more at boostmobile.com. Boost Mobile, unwronged.
College football presented by Kay Jewelers. Brought to you by Nissan Maxima, proud partner of the Heisman Trophy. Aflac, we've got you under our wing. And Gap, ready for holiday cheer. Gap.
The Dean Dome has already been rocking a couple of times this season. College basketball is underway as we come down the stretch run in college football. Miami trailing North Carolina 7-0. 1st and goal for the Canes at the 2 after the timeout. Berry into the pile at the goal line. No signal as of yet, and he stopped just short.
Damian Berry has been the touchdown maker, 6 on the season. They try to go right at this Carolina defense, and he didn't get in right there.
Damian Berry has scored at least 1 touchdown in 5 straight games. He leads Miami, but Robert Quinn and that North Carolina defensive front, #1 against the run in the ACC. 2nd and goal. Again, it's Berry. This time he fights across the chalk. Touchdown. The Canes answer the Carolina score.
You go back to the completed pass and the personal foul penalty being huge in this drive.
So it turns out to be a 5-play, 72-yard touchdown drive for Miami. Not only did you get the personal foul that made a 24-yard play, a 39-yard play, but that screen to Damian Barry, the other big gainer for the Canes. And Matt Bosher ties it. It was Damian Barry's drive.
Tremendous effort by Barry to get him down there. Reward him with the touchdown run. He's 7th on the year.
You're watching college football presented by Kay Jewelers.
A work of art, a finely tuned machine, a sanctuary, a command center, a sophisticated sedan, a sports car. Nissan Maxima, the ultimate dual threat. Now get a 2009 Nissan Maxima for 0% APR financing for 60 months. Nissan, proud partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Now's the time to get more choices. Now's the time to get more of the seafood you love. Now's the time to create your own seafood feast at Red Lobster. Choose 2 or 3 from 10 selections. Classic favorites like steamed crab legs to new creations like wood-grilled shrimp with garlic cream and Parmesan, or tender salmon with a sweet maple and cherry glaze. Get more for your money when you create your own seafood feast for a limited time at Red Lobster.
My name is what? My name is My name is Slim Shady.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 8th wonder of the world. H to the Izzo, V to the Izzy, to the Izzo.
What?
The Izzy, H to the
Shady.
H to the
Shady.
That's the anthem. Get your hands up.
Jay-Z versus Eminem. One of 93 original mashups. DJ Hero. Rated T for teen.
TV's hottest new hit has arrived. ABC's V. All new Tuesday at 8, 7 Central.
Damian Barry never comes off the field. Catches screens, scores touchdowns out on kickoff coverage.
That's what you like to see. A jack of all trades and no ego. You score a touchdown, guess what? Go cover a kick, kid. Run down there and bust up the wedge.
Johnny White and Greg Little are the deep men for the Tar Heels. Short kick by Bosher at the 9-yard line. It's Little. Greg Little through the wedge, and Bosher has to bring him down. Let's take a look at our Dr. Pepper ACC update, and it's a great update on a great season for Georgia Tech. They clinched the Coastal Division. One loss so far this year for the number 7 team, Clemson, all over NC State. They now control their own destiny. If they win next week, or if Boston College loses one of their last 2 games, then Clemson will clinch the Atlantic. It'll be Clemson, Georgia Tech.
There's my guy, C.J. Spiller, my Heisman frontrunner. 3 touchdowns today, 1 rushing, 1 receiving, and then he threw a touchdown. So now he's a quintuple threat. That'll work.
Yates, just before he got to the line of scrimmage, found Pianalto close to a first down. Yeah, we'll go with quintuple.
Quintuple? Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a triple word score. Nicely done.
I can remember that from the horse track, the Quinella.
That's got to make Bob Greasy, if he's listening out there, proud. A first down for Pianalto. Figured maybe you learned that in all of those spectacular English classes you took at Michigan? No, I learned it hanging out with Hank Goldberg down in Miami.
I learned it from Hammer and Hank. That's what I was going to say.
Quick hitch to Little. He was a tailback not long ago. Came to North Carolina as a wide receiver, back to a tailback, and now back at wide receiver. And he picks up 9. And this week on ABC Saturday Night Football, how badly does Charlie Weiss and Notre Dame need a win? And they face a tough Pitt Panthers team, coached, of course, by Dave Wannstedt. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines on ABC at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Some parts of the nation will see Texas Tech, Oklahoma State. To find the game in your area, go to ESPN.com and search maps. Ryan Houston moves the chains.
Carolina going a little bit of a hurry-up offense. I like to change the momentum of the game. You know, they had a good drive last time out, scored a touchdown. Miami answers the touchdown of their own, and now John Chape decides to go with a little bit of a hurry-up offense after a good kick return, good field position on the Miami 35.
Four-man rush, and Yates drops the ball. Regains his composure and actually maybe picks up a yard on the underneath completion. That was a pretty good job by T.J. Yates to find the loose ball and hit Todd Harrelson.
Yeah, he just dropped the snap. May have been a little low, and then he does his little Tony Romo impersonation right there. Keep the play alive. And you're going to see a lot from this North Carolina offense. You're going to see Ryan Houston up the middle, then you're going to come back with another formation, empty formation. Then you're going to see a sweep. Then you're going to see another inside run zone. Here you come out one back. John Chape trying to keep him off balance a little bit.
Yates, a little throwback screen, flips it, and finds Johnny White. What an inventive play call, and there goes White. First and goal, North Carolina at the 9. Randy Phillips may have saved the touchdown.
And we mentioned keep him off balance. Here's White right here. He's going to go take the fake, act like he doesn't have the ball, and then got 2 guys out in front of him to go down the field. A good misdirection to keep Miami defensively off balance. You can run the football, and you can use the naked game as a complement. You got good things going offensively.
Little in motion. Play action fake towards the end zone for Pianalto. Off his fingertips. Pianalto had a step on Vaughn Telemack.
Well, nice play action, as we mentioned, and T.J. Yates had Pianalto. It was a beautiful throw in the corner of the end zone. That's what the run game will do for you. If you're able to run it, play action will work, and right there just out of the reach of Pianalto.
Are you surprised that the game plan has been this wide open for North Carolina?
I don't think so. I think they understand they're going to need to score some points today because Ja'Cory Harris and this Miami offense are explosive.
Again, that's Little in motion. This is Ryan Houston up the middle. Down to the 5-yard line where it will be 3rd down and goal. Well, Ryan Houston, did he carry the mail last week against the Blue Devils?
Well, we were talking with John Chape, and he compared him to Lendell White. You know, a big guy coming through, and he's difficult to tackle, 250 pounds. We asked him if he was had the conditioning to go 37 more carries this week. He said, you know, I was sore from last week, but I got in the weight room and worked it out. I'm ready to go again today. So he'll get at least 30 carries today.
Shotgun on 3rd and goal for Yates. Tipped ball incomplete. Again looking for Pianalto. And that one went through his hands. It'll be 4th and goal, and here comes the field goal group.
It's tough to throw the football down here inside the 5-yard line. The windows are tight, and right there, the tight coverage on Pianalto, and the ball was just a little bit high. The first play on 1st down, the throw to Pianalto was the one they had to convert if they were going to score down here on this drive. It was just out of his reach.
Casey Barth carrying on the family tradition of kicking here at North Carolina. Has made 9 in a row. This one from only 22 yards away. That's 10 in a row for Barth. And the Heels are back on top by 3. So North Carolina drives it all the way down inside the 10-yard line. But Miami, they bend, but they don't break. And it's a 3-point lead.
Searching for something really fresh? Well, you don't have to sail around the world to get it. Just think Australian. Cruise into Outback Steakhouse and try a variety of delicious entrees made just for you and only $9.95 each. Like our juicy signature sirloin, aged and seared to perfection. Or with our tasty grilled shrimp on the barbie. Each served with our famous freshly made sides at just $9.95. At these prices, you can sail in every day. Live adventurous. Go Outback.
Ready? Go get it.
Don!
What? We don't need these minutes anymore. We got that calling circle thing everybody else has.
It's AT&T's A-List, Don, and it's not the same. We get unlimited calls to any 10 people on any network. But unlike everyone else, the minutes we save, we keep.
So
why save minutes with your calling circle if they just expire at the end of the month? You're using that one.
Introducing A-List with rollover. Unlimited calling to any 10 numbers on any network and keep the minutes you save. Only from AT&T.
It was a horrible feeling. Like I couldn't catch my breath. I couldn't believe I was actually having a heart attack. I remember being at the hospital, thinking about my wife. I should have done more to take care of myself. Now I'm exercising, watching my diet, and I trust my heart to Lipitor.
Unlike some other cholesterol-lowering medications, Lipitor is FDA approved to reduce the risk of heart attack, stroke, and certain kinds of heart surgeries in patients with several common risk factors or heart disease. Lipitor is backed by over 17 years of research. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. You need simple blood tests to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor if you are taking other medications or if you have any muscle pain or weakness. This may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect.
I'll never forget what I went through. Don't take your health for granted.
Have a heart-to-heart with your doctor about your risk and about Lipitor.
The Tar Heels have it first and goal, but they have to settle for 3 midway through the second quarter. Bob Wischusen and Brian Greasy back here in Chapel Hill. Still a 9-play drive, though.
A great drive by the North Carolina offense. They're going to win today against Miami. They need to convert touchdowns when they get into the red zone. They've been tremendous this year. They're third in the ACC converting touchdowns in the red zone. Today they're 1 for 2.
A squib kick and a short hop to the 30-yard line. Jimmy Graham, the tight end, brings it out to the 40. Well, Tuesday at 8/7 Central, this season's most entertaining new hour. It's ABC's V. The visitors have arrived and they're ready to make Earth their new home. Don't miss a second of the series that's being called riveting, action-packed, and instantly addictive. ABC's V, all new Tuesday at 8/7 Central on ABC. Look like some extras from V in the front row here at Kenan Stadium. I'm not sure about the squib kick. Are you that afraid of the return men for Miami that you're willing with the squib to just give up the 40-yard line?
I don't think so. It's Greg Cooper back there. He's a good returner, but I think I'd kick it to him.
Harris flips one wide to Mike James. James breaks a tackle and is close to a first down. Out to midfield. Bruce Carter couldn't bring him down.
The talent at the running back position for the Hurricanes is really unbelievable. To have Greg Cooper and then Javaris James, and then you plug in Damian Barry, who's got 7 touchdowns on the season. And then you know what? Let's get this young kid, the true freshman, Mike James, 5'11", 220 pounds in the game. And it's just kind of a slow death when those guys start getting the ball in their hands.
And a lot of different targets. 6 completions, 6 different receivers for Miami. Draw play. Cooper breaks a tackle and picks up about 7 yards down to the 44-yard line of Carolina.
Ball carried by number 2, Greg Cooper.
A lot of different options for Ja'Cory Harris.
Well, that's the thing. You got a lot of talent at the running back position, but then the wide receivers. And the MO for the Hurricanes is throw the ball down the field. Look at these yards per catch for Hankerson and Benjamin, Collier, Johnson, and Bird. All over 14 yards a catch. And Leonard Hankerson on the season, 4 touchdowns to go with his 19-yard average. And that's difficult on a defense when you can throw the ball down the field stretch the defense.
Play action. Harris drops back. Wants the bomb for Hankerson. Overthrows him and it's intercepted. Picked up by Kendrick Burney. A flag down as Burney brings it back down the sideline. Breaks a tackle. And he's finally knocked out on the Carolina bench at the Miami 44-yard line. A flag thrown at midfield.
Flags thrown in the area of holding.
Holding, 64 of the offense. That penalty is declined. First down.
We mentioned that they like to throw the ball down the field. Right here, Fox, the left tackle, on their best player, Robert Quinn, and clearly a hold right there. And down the field is hard play action. Ja'Cory Harris had him open. He throws the ball. If he throws the ball across the field, Hankerson can go get it. But that ball behind him and high, and that is the second interception down the field for Ja'Cory Harris. And that's the risk reward for throwing the ball down the field. Big gains, but 2 interceptions on the day.
Second interception of the season for Burney. There's the slant again to Little, and it's through his hands. Another update from Matt Weiner. A Sports Center right now.
All right, Bob, Sports Center right now is presented by Sprint. Number 1 Florida has an edge at South Carolina thanks to Caleb Sturgis' 32-yard field goal, 10-7 there. Meanwhile, Brandon Saint's 22-yard touchdown run was given Ohio State a 10-3 edge on Iowa. The winner takes the Big Ten's automatic BCS bid.
Back here in North Carolina, 2nd down and 10 after the interception. And now flags fly at the snap. This will be a false start.
False start, 70, offense, 5-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
Let's go back and take a look at the interception. Right here is Hankerson. He's going to go down the field on a post, and Harris has him open, but he needs to throw the ball across the field. But he throws it behind him and high, and turns out to be an interception. That's a huge swing from a potential touchdown to Hankerson across the field. Turns into an interception and a run back to midfield.
And Yates on 2nd and 15. Under some pressure. Avoids the sack. He wants a bomb down the sideline. And his receiver out of bounds. Allen Bailey got pressure on T.J. Yates and almost ripped the ball out. Jay Boyd was about 5 yards out of bounds when Yates threw the pass.
Turning into a little bit of bombs away here, and not the style of this North Carolina offense, but they've had some big chunk plays today.
Looking back at the interception, though, is that too often the style of the Miami offense?
Well,
they threw too many deep balls.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to throw the ball down the field, it's not as accurate. You're not as accurate, but I really believe if Ja'Cory Harris would have thrown that ball across the field to where Hankerson was going and not where he was, he would have had a completion.
3rd and 15, a screen. Ryan Houston, blockers out in front, has the first down.
Good execution here on the screen pass. Yates keeps his eyes down the field, drops it off to Houston, and to get your blockers out in front of you with a 245-pound back coming downhill, that's a scary thought right there. But they want to get him the ball in as many ways as they can. They want to take the load off of him just taking it out of the eye, get him the ball on the perimeter and some screen game.
Houston right up the gut. 2-yard gain as we come up under 6 minutes to go here in the first half. Darryl Sharpton made the tackle.
Miami will start to use their safeties to come down and stop Ryan Houston in the running game. Talking to John Lovett yesterday, he will employ both safeties, Telemac and Phillips, down an 8-man in the box if North Carolina starts to have success on the ground.
Underneath, Little fights for more yardage. Well, he very easily could have gone out of bounds at the 25-yard line, and he backed his way to 3 more yards, sets up 3rd down and 2.
Little is a physical specimen, as you mentioned, Bob. He was a running back by trade, and then they switched him to wide receiver, 6'3", 215 pounds. And right there, you're right. It's all about attitude and effort, and he carried Randy Phillips for another 3 yards. I got in the elevator with him when we were having our interviews yesterday, and I thought he was a linebacker when he got in the elevator.
John Chape compared him to Sterling Sharp, that kind of a flanker. Just a carry tacklers type player. 3rd and 2, Houston shut down. Loss of a couple of yards. Darryl Sharpton and a run blitzing Telemac. They're on the stop. So now what do? You're inside the 25-yard line. Now it's 4th down and at least 3, maybe 4.
Well, I think they have a lot of confidence in their kicker, Casey Barth. He's been good this year. It's only going to be a 42-yard kick and put them up by 6. This is kind of an easy call, I think, for North Carolina.
Well, he's made 10 in a row, but his long this season, only 41. So this would tie his season long. This closer to 42. It's got the leg. It is good. So Barth, at the very least, equals, if not exceeds, his season long of 42 yards. And a little over 4 minutes to go in the first half. Field goals on the last 2 drives for Carolina. They stretch the lead to 6.
The blitz is on. He wants to throw. Has a man open. Headed down the sideline. Can he score? Touchdown!
He's got all day to run, but he's going to throw upfield. And a great catch on the fly. Throwing tacklers aside and headed for the end zone. And right up the middle, pulling his way forward. Does he cross the goal line? He does! Touchdown!
It's up for grabs. Who's going to come down with it?
Buffalo Wild Wings presents the top 30 plays of the last 30 years. 13. In the 1983 championship game, a late touchdown gave #1 Nebraska a chance to tie and win the title. But Coach Tom Osborne decided to go for 2 and the win.
This is for the national championship for Nebraska.
The pass was broken up, and the Miami Hurricanes were crowned champions. Follow the top 30 countdown all season long. Brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings.
As Howard Schnellenberger was carried off the field, Nebraska had been ranked #1 every week of that season. And could you ever lose a game and still be given more credit for a decision than Tom Osborne was for going for 2? That's a great... But you get respect for that. Win it outright.
It certainly was, and he could have still won the national championship with a tie of that game. So give Tom Osborne credit.
Mike James out to about the 30-yard line. So they kick it deep that time and save themselves about 10 yards of field position. Johnny White made the stop. And let's take a look at today's Aflac trivia question. Aflac! What North Carolina Lombardi Award winner once had a double-double in an NCAA tournament game in basketball?
I think I know that one because I have intimate knowledge of him sacking me quite a few times in the NFL.
We'll have the answer coming up if that wasn't enough of a hint. No hello, my name is name tag necessary for you there. You've been introduced. DeGory Harris flips a screen. Great catch by Cooper. And he's still buried right at the line of scrimmage. Sturdivant again made the stop.
Oh, great hands by Greg Cooper. You know, he's their guy running the football, but he's also very dangerous out of the backfield. Probably their best wide receiver out of the backfield, and has sure hands. And right there, a tremendous catch to go up and snag that football. Looked like he was going up for a rebound in a basketball game.
And Marvin Austin out there to help bring him down as well. He is a big guy and can move very fluidly. Harris again goes deep, this time for his tight end. And Jimmy Graham can't hold on. Another deep ball thrown by Miami.
Well, talk about basketball players. Jimmy Graham is a converted basketball player. He's 6'8", but can really run. But he's still getting used to playing the game of football. He's got 4 touchdowns on the season, primarily used in the red zone. And right there, a tough over-the-shoulder catch that, you know, in time, he'll be able to make.
It might have looked on paper like a good matchup. Your tight end on a linebacker, Zach Brown. But Brown ran a 4.26 back in the spring. So I think the Carolina coaching staff's pretty comfortable with his speed. 3rd down and 10. Only a three-man rush. Harris still under pressure. Flips it off to Cooper. And he's nowhere near a first down. A gain of 5. A lot of pressure on Ja'Cory Harris with only a three-man rush.
Yeah, and we talked a lot about the different looks that North Carolina will use defensively on third down, and Marvin Austin, number 9, comes off the edge right there. Tremendous job by Harris keeping the play alive, but just too much pressure from this North Carolina defense on third down.
Gene Robinson made the tackle, and he was shaken up. So with a little over 3 minutes to go before halftime, North Carolina with a 6-point lead. But Marvin Austin, who made this last tackle, or at least got a lot of pressure on the quarterback as we take a look at Robinson.
Oh, goodness.
Well, he got crumpled.
Yeah, that was scary. He had his back. He got caught right there. It was a good form tackle. And then when Tydreek Powell comes over the top and bends him back.
Well, Tydreek Powell weighs 300 pounds. Greg Cooper weighs a little over 200 pounds. So Gene Robinson, in making that tackle, had about 500 extra pounds of football player coming at him. So we'll step aside while the training staff continues to look at Robinson and head back to Matt Weiner.
All right, Bob, a win today for number 1 Florida would be the Gators' 20th straight going back to last season. Tim Tebow pitches it to Emmanuel Moody. 17 yards later, it's a touchdown. 8-play, 70-yard drive, and a 10-point lead for Florida at South Carolina.
All right, Matt, and is that a great sign? Gene Robinson able to walk right off the field. Well, I'd be holding my lower back too if I took that hit.
Yeah, for all those people at home that complain about low back pain when they wake up in the morning, that's what real low back pain looks like right there.
So North Carolina about to get the football back again. Bernie deep to receive the punt of Bosher. And flags down. The play clock was nowhere near all the way down, so they might be calling a false start against the Miami front.
Looked like the Carolina player came across and influenced them, but it's about 4th and 5.5, so this is potentially a huge call right here.
Even though there was a defensive player in the neutral zone, he did not threaten the offensive lineman who moved. Number 6 moved. Offense, that's a false start. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And right there, the call is the defensive player has to threaten the offensive player to get called for the influence, and in the official's opinion, that didn't happen right there in the middle of the field, so they call it on the offense.
Well, our referee today is Jack Childress, and I love the explanation. I'm not sure Randy Shannon liked it, but that was a great explanation. So now it's 4th and 10, and Bosher on a fake punt has blockers out in front. A huge play as Bosher takes it down the sideline all the way down to the 44-yard line of North Carolina. A fake punt on 4th and 10 from inside your own 30-yard line. That is a gutsy call by Randy Shannon.
A tremendous call, and if you're going to beat North Carolina in this defense, you got to have some plays like this, and give credit to Randy Shannon to call it, even though they have the penalty that backs them up an extra 5 yards. I wonder if they had it called on 4th and 5 and left it for 4th and 10. Either way, a tremendous play, and Matt Bosher, good job of getting downfield. Momentum swings in this ball game against a good defense. This defense thinks they get off the field. Now you bring it back on. Advantage to the offense.
Play action for Harris. Whips one to the sideline. Coming back to make the catch for a first down is LaRon Byrd. How about Matt Bosher, the kicker? He's now the leading rusher for the Canes after that last carry.
And Miami now is going to come in a no huddle. They sense the momentum swing, and Mark Whipple in this offense right up on the ball again.
Over the middle, tipped ball, dangerous pass. Intended for Travis Benjamin, but Kendrick Burney jumped up and knocked it away.
And a dangerous pass. This is the staple play in the West Coast offense. You're going to see a slant right here from Benjamin on the inside. and Harris does not see the linebacker, Kevin Reddick, right there in the middle. You have to be able to see defensive players in the middle of the field. If you're going to throw the slant in the middle of the field, you have got to be able to see those guys and move them pre-snap with your eyes to open that lane to throw the slant.
Cooper on a trap handoff. Shut down again at the line for no gain again. It's Sturdivant. Quan Sturdivant, according to Everett Withers, the defensive coordinator, he's just one of those guys that gets it. He said, no, this is a guy in the front seven. When I want to have a football conversation, those conversations coaches love to have with players, I seek out Sturdivant.
And he is the spokesman of this defense. If Everett Withers has anything that he wants to relay to his team, it's through Quan Sturdivant. And he said, you know, late in the season, the guys don't listen to the coach. They're going to listen to the leaders on defense, and that's Quan Sturdivant.
The blitz on third down. Harris under pressure, hit as he throws. Intercepted again. Again, it's Burney with a convoy out in front. Down the sideline, Kendrick Burney. Touchdown.
The previous play is under further review.
They're going to check and see if Burney may have stepped out of bounds. He was very close to stepping out of bounds, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of the Miami 40, maybe 35-yard line right in front of the North Carolina bench.
And credit the UNC defense up front, and specifically Bruce Carter, for getting the pressure on Ja'Cory Harris and making that an errant throw. And a great job by Burney right there with the move on Ja'Cory Harris to keep in. Looks like he stayed in bounds.
Well, again, it has to be conclusive video evidence, indisputable video evidence that he stepped out of bounds once they rule him inbounds the entire way. And certainly it looks at no point on any of the replays that we've shown that you can see him step out.
Yeah, he walked the tightrope right there like a punt returner.
Stayed in bounds. The call is confirmed. Touchdown.
So a 77-yard touchdown return by Kendrick Burney. His second interception here in the first half. That one he brings the distance. And with under a minute to go, Ja'Cory Harris and this Miami offense has dug themselves a hole.
And with the resiliency of this defense to give up the fake punt on special teams and then to come back and hold Miami and then to score the touchdown right before half, huge momentum shift.
Let's take a look at the answer to our Aflac trivia question. What North Carolina Lombardi Award winner once had not only a double-double in an NCAA tournament game, but also apparently went face-to-face with Brian Griese about a dozen times.
And actually picked me and returned one just like Burney did right there. That's why I remember I tried to catch him.
You couldn't catch Julius Peppers either?
No, I couldn't catch Julius Peppers. He was quick. In fact,
an athlete such as yourself couldn't catch Julius Peppers? I don't buy that for a second.
He held the record in the 40-yard dash at North Carolina for defensive linemen, but it was broken this offseason by Robert Quinn, who ran a 4.5 40-yard dash as a 275-pound defensive lineman. That is just insane.
Three interceptions of the first half for Ja'Cory Harris. Burney with the last pick turns it into a 77-yard score.
And talking with Butch Davis yesterday, one thing he was really imparting to us was this defense plays as one. There's one of 11 guys, and everybody has their job to do. And that last interception return for a touchdown was evident of that, in that the pressure up front by the linebackers and the defensive linemen gave Bernie an opportunity to make that play, and then for them to block downfield to make it an even bigger play to get the touchdown. Just good team defense.
The line drive kick takes a nice hop for Greg Cooper. And he's tripped up at the 27-yard line. Well, again, Jimmy Johnson in lap 3 last week in Texas left the race for 90 minutes after a crash, and might that open the door for Mark Martin? With just 2 races left, the pressure is on. The chase heads west to Phoenix. The chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup continues tomorrow afternoon. Coverage begins at 2:30 Eastern on ABC. Telecast presented by Goodyear. Now, if Jimmy Johnson finishes in the last 2 races 4th or better, he can't be caught. But Mark Martin more than cut the lead that Jimmy Johnson had in half, with Johnson going out after lap 3 last week in Texas. So
yeah, and I think Mark Martin wants lightning to strike twice this week. You know, Jimmy Johnson doesn't usually make that mistake.
A screen. Cooper cuts it back. Greg Cooper with blockers out in front. Gets hammered down at midfield, but a nice job by Travis Benjamin downfield to help block for him. A gain of 25. Eventually, Tydreek Powell came downfield to make the tackle, and quickly, Miami back up to the line. Under 40 seconds to go. They have a timeout. Harris back to throw, slants one underneath, thrown behind LaRon Bird, but he makes a nice adjustment, makes the catch, short of the first down, so the clock continues to roll.
I think they used their timeout right there, but they didn't. It's taken a long time to get this play off.
Under 20 seconds to go. Second and short. And that catch is made for a first down, so that will stop the clock with 14 seconds remaining as Hankerson gets to the 37-yard line. So you've got time for maybe 3 snaps with your timeout with 14 seconds to go. Well, you have to call it now. They start the clock after the timeout, or after the first down stops the clock. Now we're down to 5 seconds. This will probably be the last play. Ja'Cory Harris goes down, and that'll end the half. That's just terrible clock management by the Canes to finish the first half with a timeout that you failed to use.
After that last completed pass, they should have been up on the line of scrimmage, ready to snap it and spike it on first down, then be able to run 2 plays and use your timeout. Right there, they just gave up an opportunity for 3 points.
They were probably one good completion away from at least reasonable field goal range, and yet they end the first half down by 2 scores with a timeout in their pocket. 20-7, North Carolina has the lead. You're watching ESPN's College Football on ABC. Miami, Bob Wischusen and Brian Greasy. We've seen Miami before this season, and we've seen them in this position before. Some self-inflicted wounds. A couple of weeks ago at Wake Forest, though, on the road in a tough environment, they had a great second-half comeback. Can they do it again?
Well, they can. I mean, the first half, 3 interceptions by Ja'Cory Harris, but we've learned from him that he has the presence to come back, and he'll compete in the second half.
Obviously, for Miami to try and get this second half together, we take a look at our City Inside view. They have to figure out this defensive front for North Carolina.
Well, they do. They have a lot of different looks we talked about, especially on 3rd down. And that last interception, you can see the left side of the Miami offensive line go to the left, 3 guys for 2, and then leave 3 guys on the top. And Bruce Carter on the top will come free and get his hand on Ja'Cory Harris's arm right there and force an errant throw. The ball goes straight up in the air, and Kendrick Burney comes down with it. We talked about this defense, 1 of 11, and Kendrick Burney is the recipient of the good fortune of that pressure up front by this defensive front.
And Miami, who won the toss before the game and deferred their option to the second half, starts the second half with the football. A short kick. Mike James from about the 15-yard line gets out to the 30-yard line as we take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Some of the big numbers from the first half. At turnovers, it's always the #1 statistic in any football game. Look at points off turnovers. 10-0 for North Carolina in the first half.
Yeah, it is, and this has been the Achilles heel of the Miami offense, and specifically of Ja'Cory Harris. Fantastic at times, throwing the ball down the field with a lot of explosive plays, but with that comes the risk of turnovers, and tonight, every single one of his 3 turnovers have been down the field.
For Harris, first play of the second half. Into traffic, incomplete. Threw it behind Tavares Johnson.
2 weeks ago against Wake Forest, they were down by 2 touchdowns in the first half, and Ja'Cory Harris and this Miami offense came out in the second half and were able to put together some drives and claw their way back into the game and ended up winning 28-27 on the road at Wake Forest. And very similar situation here tonight. The 3 interceptions. We know that Ja'Cory Harris will not hesitate to continue to throw the ball down the field and take those chances, because that's how this offense works.
Cooper. Hard working 5 yards again, right behind the center, A.J. Trump. A reminder that coming up after our first break here in the third quarter, we'll be joined by the head basketball coach of the defending national champions, Roy Williams of the Tar Heels, will be with us. That comes up in just a moment. Big 3rd down and 5, though.
First half, Miami was only 1 of 4. Ja'Cory Harris in completions on 3rd down. He needs to be better in the second half.
Over the middle. Again, he throws it behind his receiver. Leonard Hankerson was wide open. And Ja'Cory Harris hit him on his back shoulder.
Yeah, and Hankerson, if he gets that ball in front of Hankerson, he may still be running. Good design play of crossing route against man coverage. And Ja'Cory Harris just kind of short-armed it right there. Put it on the back pad of Hankerson. He's lucky it's not another interception. But you see on the sideline, the coach is in disbelief. That ball has got to be a foot in front of Leonard Hankerson's number. Allow him to catch it and run, and they have a big play.
Miami resets their punt unit with the play clock at 7. Kendrick Burney calls for a fair catch. And on the backpedal Fields at his own 14-yard line. You know, that last pass that missed for Hankerson, Brian, it's one of those plays that a couple hours from now when we're wrapping up the second half, fans watching at home, even we might forget that play.
Yeah.
But for a coach, that's one of those plays you realize it's a very subtle, small missed opportunity that could turn the entire game around.
Well, it's a huge play. I mean, you work all week on that specific play to get the right coverage. You're in this personnel, you're in the formation to entice a defense to play man-to-man coverage. Everything works perfectly. The guy comes open, you have a big play and a conversion on 3rd down, and then the quarterback just throws it a foot behind the receiver, and everything is for naught.
Wide receiver screen to the near side, and a good gain out to the 22-yard line to Eric Highsmith, his first catch. As the true freshman finally gets his hands on the football.
3 true freshmen wide receivers play in this North Carolina offense. Boyd, as you see, and Eric Highsmith right there with the catch. And Josh Adams started the first 2 games of the season. He is now injured and won't play tonight. But 3 true freshmen wide receivers for the Tar Heels. Tough way to break them in against the Kings.
Houston up the middle. First down and more. Out close to the 30-yard line.
And North Carolina's in a good position now. All the energy and effort that went in the first half, now they're up by 2 touchdowns. They can run their offense. If they would have been down at 2 scores, force them to throw the football, a distinct disadvantage for them, but they can run their offense. John Shoup can call anything he wants now, run or pass.
Nice play action fake. Pianalto underneath has the catch close to midfield.
And the running game sets this up. We're going to see hard play action to the strong side, and watch the linebacker number 50 bites on the run, and Pianalto gets right behind him, and a good accurate throw by T.J. Yates. When this offense is working, the run sets up the pass, and John Shoup does a great job of marrying the play action pass with runs that are working in that game specifically, and right there he got Sharpton to bite.
There goes Little in motion again. Houston into the secondary. Another first down for North Carolina. That time Pianalto, the tight end, helped Jonathan Cooper, the left guard, pave the way.
Yeah, good blocks up front. Jolly blocks down 17. Pianalto comes out and blocks Sharpton 50 and opens a huge hole And Zach Houston, when he gets his pads down in the secondary, he can inflict some pain.
Ryan Houston comes to the sideline, and Johnny White now in the game at the top of your screen. They go empty. Out of the shotgun, the quick hitter, low. Pianalto hauls it in. 5-yard gain on first down. With Houston carrying the ball 37 times last week against Duke, I'm not sure we expected this to be the game plan, but a lot of different motions across the ball, going empty. And
this is all about confidence. And for John Chape, this is the way he wants to operate, but it has to stem from the quarterback, T.J. Yates. He pulls the trigger. He has to be able to convert third downs, keep him in positive situations. As long as he can handle that, John Chape will continue to call this wide open offense.
Houston makes a man miss at the line. Has another first down. Ryan Houston has 16 career touchdown runs. Never has had a touchdown run of longer than 7 yards. So that's the kind of running back he is, right?
Well, he certainly is. He's downhill. He's got big legs, 245 pounds. They pull the left guard, and Pianalto, again, the same play they had before in this drive. And Houston just keeps churning, gets a first down. And you feel the momentum of this North Carolina offense, which has really been the red-headed stepchild of this North Carolina team. Everybody talks about the defense. What a good year they're having. This offense is having a coming-out party tonight against the Hurricanes.
Timeout. With the play clock winding down, T.J. Yates looked over to the sideline to see if they were going to adjust the play call. And they changed things around. The head coach of the Tar Heels National Championship basketball team will join us coming up here at North Carolina. A 13-point lead for North Carolina, and that student section enjoys those kind of leads for basketball as well. And the head coach of the defending national champions, Roy Williams, joins us now in the booth. Coach, off to a good start already, although I saw you the other night against NC Central. Second half, few turnovers. All 5 of those starters get off the floor, put the new guys in. Right? Are you sending a message to maybe even some of your young star players this year early?
Well, I think so. The biggest message for those guys who were out there messing it up to start with. But we had 5 turnovers in the first minute and 52 seconds. But I do believe that what we're supposed to focus on, you're supposed to do. And if you don't do it, then we got somebody else over there that wants to play.
Well, your football team, Butch Davis's football team, has been pretty focused tonight. This offense and defense, what a combination we've seen.
You know, we've been great defensively all year. And then last couple of games, we started running the ball a little bit better and a little bit better. And I thought we were going to win, so they got to keep going, because that's what I've been telling all our players and coaches. We're going to win this thing too. But Butch does a great job, and we've got great kids, and maybe as much speed as I've ever seen on the defensive side of the football in the college game.
What do you think of Robert Quinn? Any space on your team for him? You know, Julius Peppers did it for him.
That's right. Robert's not quite as big as Julius was, but Robert's awfully quick. Between he and Bruce Carter, those guys at linebacker for us, I've never seen that kind of speed. And I'm just dumb enough. I helped coach high school football for 4 years, so I know just enough to get myself in trouble. Yep.
Well, it was a fun year last year, obviously, for you. And Brian, obviously, not very upset to see you not only during the season, but also in the championship game, beat Michigan State.
Beat another old Big Ten.
Yeah, the old Wolverine. But you know what? I know you don't rebuild here, you reload, because you always have great players. But, you know, no Lawson, no Hansbrough, no Ellington. You know, who are the leaders around Marcus Ginyard to kind of help you this season?
Deion Thompson. You know, Deion started for us last year and has done some nice things. We expect him to play well. We expect him to score. We expect him to rebound. And, you know, we just need him to take a step up. We did lose some awfully good players. There's no question about that. And but I think that Deion and Marcus, Ed Davis, those guys are going to have to step forward for us.
Well, an awfully nice throw from T.J. Yates to Highsmith on 3rd down and 11 to pick up the first down and move the chains for Carolina.
Yeah, great plays and come down and be in the middle of the field and pull out the linebackers, and a good accurate throw by T.J. Yates for a critical first down conversion in the red zone.
You know, Coach, last week we were in Ames, Iowa, and apparently you spent some quality time in Ames, Iowa too. Tell the folks about that recruit.
The last 15 months I've been there quite a bit. You know, I coached at Kansas and played there for 15 years. I didn't think I'd go back this many times, but it was well worth it. Harrison Barnes signed with us last night, and truly one of the great young men that I've ever been around.
I know that all of the, you know, prognosticators might say #1 recruit in America, and Harrison Barnes is #1 in our ESPNU Top 100. It's all speculation,
Yes.
but what did you like so much about Harrison Barnes that convinced you to target him?
Well, he has the whole package. I mean, he's a great student. Everyone loves him. He has tremendous ability. He has great discipline, great focus to work. I mean, there's nothing bad about the young man, I can tell you that.
It's like a fast break offense from the North Carolina offense here.
Right. All of a sudden, we're going up and down that field. This is a lot of fun watching this.
Houston in motion out of the backfield. The slant underneath doesn't work for Greg Little.
You know, Greg Little played basketball for us a couple of years ago, so I'm a little extra interested every time I watch number 8 do something.
Yeah, he had a big play in the first half on an all-out blitz. Caught the ball and was able to break one tackle. There again, Miami came with an all-out blitz to pressure T.J. Yates, and he had the same play, Little on an inside slant route, and Miami just got to Yates and deflected the pass.
A finger on it.
3rd down and 8.
Yeah, this is big for us right here. We'd like to get another touchdown here, to say the least.
At the 15-yard line, shotgun for Yates. Wide open, a high throw, and Houston couldn't haul it in. It'll be 4th down, so the field goal unit will come out. What does it do for a basketball program that obviously is known as the hallmark of this university if Butch Davis is able to continue to elevate the football program?
You see all the excitement in the stands. That just translates to basketball season as well. If they win, it helps us. I like to think if we win, it helps them. The more you win, the more you win is the way I look at it. If you birdie the first hole, you got a chance to birdie them all. And so for us, what they do over here is extremely important. And the great pageantry of college football at this place is fantastic.
Casey Barth continues that field goal streak. Well, good luck this season in what is always going to be a very difficult ACC, Coach. Thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. It's exciting watching our football team going up and down the field. Thanks to you guys a great deal.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. That's Roy Williams joining us here at North Carolina. His Tar Heels and Butch Davis's Tar Heels up 23-7.
You're watching college football.
No. That's way too small. How do you ruin the full rack of ribs? What is that? That's an appetizer.
That's not going to cut it.
That is not going to be enough for either Brian Gracie or myself. Yeah, there needs to be 2 more sides to that.
Now we're talking. There we go. A little more meat. Meat lovers.
Comes with a gift certificate, I believe, to visit your local cardiologist. Bob Wischusen and Brian Gracie at Kenan Stadium, 23-7. North Carolina continues to stretch the lead, but it's still only a 2-possession game. 8:47 to go in the 3rd quarter. Miami needs to get something going offensively. Cooper from the 5. Heading west instead of north, and runs out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Well, can you hear that ticking? It's the sound of the College Hoops Tip-Off Marathon. The ESPN family of networks will showcase 24 consecutive hours of live college basketball. I'll be at St. Peter's when they play Monmouth. It's right there. There's my game, St. Peter's. It follows Monday Night Football coming up. All the action kicks off at midnight on Monday night on ESPN. 19 games from 5 different time zones, including 6 top 25 teams. #1 Kansas, #2 Michigan State will be involved. So the College Hoops Tip-Off Marathon right after college football, or right after Monday Night Football, pardon me, on Monday night. We'll get it started.
What time's your game that day?
My game is, I like to think of it as morning drive. You know, they pay the morning drive host at any radio station the most. It's the most important time slot. 6 o'clock in the morning in Jersey City.
Oh, perfect.
Monmouth at St. Peter's. It'll be fun. Corey Harris over the middle, a little high. It's pulled down by Mike James. He's got a 1st down. Yeah, the folks at St. Peter's have actually announced that they're going to open up their athletic bubble for an all-nighter. So the kids are going to come in, they're going to play Guitar Hero and serve a big tailgate. And at 4 o'clock in the morning when they open the doors, they'll be there in their PJs.
They could be bleary-eyed when the tip-off. I'll be at home with my tea and my breakfast. I'll watch it.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be locked in. It's 6 a.m. Eastern, 4 Mountain, I believe, back in Denver.
Oh, it'll be an early morning, so maybe I won't be watching.
1st down for the Canes. Only a 3-man rush. Harris buys some additional time, floats one down the sideline, incomplete. Intended for Aldarius Johnson. He's been quiet today. He was the leading receiver for Miami last season and caught a big touchdown pass in that comeback over Wake Forest.
Well, now Miami is down 16 points, 2 scores, as you mentioned, and tough sledding now in the second half. The end of this game against the #1 defense in the ACC, and they know that Miami has to throw the football to get back in this football game. So expect here on 2nd and long and 3rd downs, a lot of pressure up front from Austin and Quinn on the outside.
Trap handoff to Cooper on 2nd and long. He's got room. Very close to a 1st down. Pulled down from behind by Melvin Williams and Kevin Reddick. Reddick, a true freshman Mike linebacker.
A good job up front blocking the scheme here. Sturdivant gets a block. Melvin Williams, number 10 for Carolina, comes up and lays the wood on Greg Cooper to keep him from getting that 1st down. But a good 2nd and 10 play call there with a draw. Gains 9. You're in a manageable situation now, 3rd and 1.
Now Damian Berry in as the lone setback on 3rd down and a foot. Now they shift to the eye with Mike James at fullback. And they run it with Berry right behind James. He's got the 1st down and breaks a tackle. An explosive run by Damian Berry on 3rd down and a foot. Picks up 20.
Damian Berry has the ability to break these runs. Right here, you see the corner is going to come on a blitz, and once Berry breaks the line of scrimmage, there's only the corner, the safety left to tackle him, and he misses that tackle right there. And they brought the corner off the edge to try to stop the run, and it backfired on him. Berry makes a play.
Harris to the sideline. He's got Benjamin inside the 25-yard line. And that's good for another Miami 1st down, a gain of 14. What a huge drive. You can feel, Brian, that this is for Miami.
A critical drive for Miami. And, you know, as bad as they played in the 1st half, turning the football over, to only be down by 2 scores and driving right now, no panic on that sideline from Randy Shannon or Mark Whipple, or certainly from Ja'Cory Harris, who is a cool cucumber in the pocket and will continue to throw the football down the field. And if he can continue to run the football with his backs, they can keep that balance on offense.
Cooper on a stretch play left. Boy, he did really well just to pick up a couple of yards. And let's check back in with Matt Weiner of SportsCenter right now.
All right, Bob, SportsCenter right now is presented by Sprint. Boston College needs a win today to stay alive in the ACC's Atlantic Division race, but they're having trouble with Virginia. Dave Shinsky is picked off by Chris Cook, who's going 58 yards the other way. And the Cavaliers have tied the game up at 7 in Charlottesville.
Normally, Matt is so good at depressing a member of the Greasy family with a result from a Michigan or Purdue game. And me as the BC guy, he drops that update on us.
There you go.
All he's trying to do is upset our crew for whatever reason. And that's Joel Figueroa, the right guard, injured and on the sideline. 2nd and 8. Here comes the blitz. Miami picks it up in a double coverage. And Jimmy Graham did well to tip that ball away. It could have been a 4th interception for Ja'Cory Harris.
Well, they got man-to-man coverage. It's what they wanted. The tight end's going to come across the field, but Ja'Cory Harris needs to lead him across the field on a dart, not way up in the air. Give Melvin Williams an opportunity to go break up that pass, and if Jimmy Graham doesn't get a hand on it, it would have been another interception. But right there, that ball needed to be on a line to hit Jimmy Graham in stride, not up down the field where allow the free safety to come in and make a play.
Here comes the crowd on 3rd and 8. Again, only a 3-man rush, and again flushed out of the pocket is Harris. Throwing on the run, end zone. Hankerson, incomplete. Well, now it's 4th down and 8. 5:23 to go in the 3rd quarter. You have to take the field goal here and get 3 points, don't you?
Yeah, I think you do, and that's what looks like they're going to do. But right there, Ja'Cory Harris had an opportunity to extend the play. And a lot of his plays down the field have been off of broken plays. And you see that some of the throws that he's had in the pocket have not been as accurate as he would have liked. But outside of the pocket, where he's been really dangerous, but could not connect with Hankerson there.
Osher from 39 yards away to cut the lead down to 13. And he's now made 9 kicks in a row. We have arguably the two best field goal kickers in the ACC this season in today's game. Bosher and Casey Barth have both been perfect. It's a 13-point lead.
You're watching college football, presented by Kate Jewelers.
We've all heard about the trouble in the housing industry. The fact is, with all the talk of a national real estate market, your town, your neighborhood, your home, or the home you'd like to buy are each unique. The national conversation may not apply at all. If you've been worrying about what your property may be worth, or wondering if your dream home may finally be affordable, ask a RE/MAX agent or go to RE/MAX.com. Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX.
Unstoppable. Paula Creamer is. So is her Citizen Echo Drive watch. Fueled by light, it never needs a battery. It's unstoppable, just like the people who wear it.
What's going on, big guy?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, you're gonna love this. I'm wearing my new Hanes boxer briefs.
Oh, yeah?
They don't ride up your leg. Check it out.
Underwear that stays put. Only from Hanes. That's the Comfort Fit promise.
Hello, I'm a Mac. And I'm a PC.
And I'm an XP user who's getting ready for the big move.
You're gonna love Windows 7.
To Mac.
Oh, what?
Well, they say moving to Windows 7 would be a fresh start.
Yes.
But the real fresh start would be moving to a computer like Mac, who's rated #1 in customer satisfaction. Yeah, I mean, look, I could stick with what I know.
Yes.
But what I know is pain and frustration.
Why don't you just make up your mind?
I did. I'm gonna go with Mac.
Oh, great. Please, you don't have to rush into anything. You don't have to make up your mind.
Well, the first thing we do when we come up here is take her out to eat.
I love when they come visit, and so do my roommates.
Try our new 4-cheese stuffed mezzaluna ravioli with shrimp and white wine cream sauce or with grilled sausage, starting at $9.95 at Olive Garden.
Unstoppable. Eli Manning is. So is his Citizen Echo Drive watch. Fueled by light, it never needs a battery. It's unstoppable, just like the people who wear it.
The chase continues at Phoenix tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern on ABC.
Matt Bosher draws Miami that much closer. Still a 2-touchdown lead for North Carolina. And this week on ABC Saturday Night Football, Notre Dame desperately needs a win for their head coach Charlie Weiss, taking on a tough Pittsburgh Panthers team. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines coming up on ABC shortly at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Some parts of the nation will see Texas Tech, Oklahoma State. To find the game in your area, go to ESPN.com, search maps. Greg Little deep in the corner at the goal line. A good kickoff by Bosher. And Little pinned down at the 12-yard line. What a terrific kick by your kicker to get it that deep into the corner as well. Arthur Brown made the stop on special teams. Let's take a look at the BCS standings in the top 10. And Brian, in your opinion, is it still going to be Florida, Alabama, Texas? Do you see any chance that Texas or Florida or Alabama even lose the next few weeks?
Well, it certainly looks like it's shaping up that way. Texas may steamroll through the rest of their schedule, and Alabama and Florida on a collision course. And it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight with TCU and Utah. I think that's going to be the game of the day. Cincinnati had a convincing win, a big win, and they've got 2 games left. Illinois, and then they've got the big game at the end of the year on the 5th of December against Pittsburgh. So TCU and Cincinnati are the cream of those crop of the BCS busters.
Yates incomplete on first down. Crowd looking for a flag call as Darryl Sharpton, the inside linebacker, got caught on Jeremy Boyd, the wide receiver. So it's a great matchup for North Carolina. And Sharpton may have tugged on the jersey just a bit.
We're in a situation now. North Carolina is still up by 13 points in this game. They're backed up in their own end. And John Shoop showing the confidence in TJ Yates to throw the football on first down. He understands that he needs to possess the football, get some first downs to win this football game. But TJ Yates has had a little affinity for turnovers in the second half of some of the big losses they've had this year. He needs to protect the ball.
Yates flips it to a wide-open Ryan Houston. Brought down by Colin McCarthy, who's been quiet today for Miami. And a huge play and a big opportunity upcoming for Miami's defense. You get the deep kickoff, you tackle the return man at the 11-yard line, and now you've got the opposition in 3rd down and 4 inside their own 20-yard line.
And field position is at a premium at this point in the ball game. A big 3rd and 4 for North Carolina. Wouldn't be surprised here if Carolina tries to get a cheap first down, maybe on a hard count by Yates.
Can the Canes get the stop they need? They bring 4. Underneath, through the hands of Pianalto and incomplete. 3 downs and out for the Tar Heels. Colin McCarthy there in coverage, and he might have been laying hands on Pianalto as well.
Yeah, Pianalto just came up the field, quick out by him, and good job by McCarthy all over him, but catchable ball for Pianalto. And as we mentioned last week, he had those 5 catches for 5 first downs against Virginia. Right there, just right through his hands. That's a play you need to make in tight coverage.
2 punt returns for touchdowns this year for Theron Collier. At the very least, Miami should get great field position and a low kick, and Collier lets it bounce. And it rolls out of bounds at the 41-yard line. It's good field position, but he might have been able to catch that one on the dead run in plus territory. ABC Comedy Wednesday at 9/8 Central. There are 2 big reasons to watch the fall's #1 new comedy. Ed Norton and Elizabeth Banks guest star on ABC's Modern Family. Wednesday at 9/8 Central on ABC Comedy Wednesday.
Well, we'll see what Miami comes out with here. Last drive was impressive. Looked like they got a little bit of momentum. Didn't get a touchdown, but drove the ball down the field and didn't convert a 3rd down, but got a field goal. But we'll see if they can build on last drive and get something on the board here.
You saw number 66 there, Harlan Gunn as well, still in at right tackle. End around to Benjamin. And he's got nowhere to go. Benjamin trapped at his own 35-yard line and somehow got back near the line of scrimmage. He could have easily lost 8 to 10 yards on that play and maybe only lost a yard or a yard and a half.
It looked like he was dead to rights. This reminds me a little bit of Devin Hester in a Miami uniform, but little whirly bird. That's just athleticism there. Still a 2-yard loss, but you're right, he could have lost 15.
Off a play action fake over the middle, wide open. He's got LeRon Byrd. First down in plus territory for Miami, and that time a much more accurate throw by Ja'Cory Harris.
Yeah, good play action. When Ja'Cory Harris can set his feet right here, you see that play action, hard play action. If Ja'Cory Harris has time in the pocket and can set his feet, good throw here with anticipation. You see he throws the ball before Byrd comes out of his break. That allows Byrd to catch the ball with the most amount of space from the defender and then make a move and try to break a tackle. But good anticipation, good timing, and a good pocket allowed him to be accurate.
Another play action fake. Again looking for the home run. This time it's Hankerson. Through his hands and incomplete. 2 weeks ago at Wake Forest, we saw Hankerson drop 2 balls that could have been huge plays in the second half, and this one might be a drop as well.
And that was the same play, just instead of running an in route, Hankerson ran a go route thinking that Charlie Brown would jump it. Same play action. Instead, they go down the field, and this is the MO right here in Miami, and a perfect throw by Ja'Cory Harris. And that, you're right, Bob, the 3rd deep ball that Leonard Hankerson has let go through his fingertips in the last 3 weeks.
You have to make that catch. Another play action fake. They set up the screen behind the blitz. Cooper still on his feet. First down Miami. A nifty little throw by Ja'Cory Harris as he beat the blitz with the screen.
Yeah, great delivery by Harris. There's tremendous pressure coming up the field. You're going to see the lineman from North Carolina come up the field, and Ja'Cory Harris has to give a little sidearm delivery, a quick delivery to Cooper. Does a good job of getting the first down, but I like that play call. This aggressiveness of this North Carolina defense, use it to their disadvantage, and right there, the screenplay worked to perfection.
Another play action fake, another screen to Cooper, and this time the Heels were ready. Idreet Powell made the stop.
Mark Whipple starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm here. Throwing the ball down the field off of play action almost exclusively, and the run game sets that up. If they're able to run the ball with Cooper, then they're able to throw the play action down the field, and then mixing in some screens will keep this defense honest from blitzing and rushing up the field, getting pressure on Harris.
This time, Ja'Cory Harris sees that a little flip pass in the flats going to go nowhere, so he simply dirts it as Zach Brown was coming on a blitz.
Yeah, you run 2 screen plays in a row, and then you come back with the third one, and Alaric Mullins, the defensive tackle, said, not this time. I see what you're trying to do to me here. And so now it's a situation where you can drop back and sit in the pocket and throw. You've neutralized the rush a little bit. Now it's time to throw the ball down the field.
And this entire series, we have not seen Robert Quinn on the field. By far the best and most disruptive player for that North Carolina defensive front. Not in for this series. 3rd down and close to 10. Harris to the sideline, knocked away. Melvin Williams came over and knocked it away from Collier.
And Melvin Williams, good play, center fielder right here, and as a center fielder you have to have the range. You read the quarterback's eyes and then break. Ball's thrown a little bit high, but Melvin Williams has been around the football today. Again, a lack of zip on the ball. We saw earlier in the game to Jimmy Graham, he needed to throw that dart onto his body. Same thing right there, needed to throw the ball with a little more velocity on the sideline. If you throw the ball high and late, it's going to get knocked down.
And Robert Quinn back on the field for a 4th down play with the play clock winding all the way down. And with the play clock at 2, Miami has to call timeout. So we will step aside and see if Miami sticks with their decision to go for it on 4th down when we come back.
The University.
Miami's offense staying on the field. Here's the situation. They're down 2 touchdowns, but a lot of time left. 1:44 to go in the 3rd quarter. It's a long field goal attempt of nearly 50 yards if you go for it. But they're going to stick with their offense on 4th down and just under 10 yards to go. Still in the 3rd quarter at the 32-yard line of North Carolina. 4-man rush. They roll the pocket with Harris. Throws on the run. Finds a man. 1st down. Hankerson at the 17-yard line as they convert on 4th and 10.
And Hankerson does a good job of finding the hole. There he is right here. He's just going to find the hole right there. And Ja'Cory Harris buys some time.
They're right back at the line, over the middle, inside the 5-yard line. Another catch by Hankerson. 1st and goal. They went hurry up, and let's see. They may go hurry up again here.
Yeah, they're on the ball again.
They've got North Carolina on their heels. Quick snap. Handoff to Cooper. Touchdown.
Number 2, Greg Cooper on the run, touchdown Miami.
That drive felt like a hurricane. The 4th down and 10 conversion to Hankerson. Another throw to Hankerson sets up the quick snap run by Greg Cooper. And now here is an interesting decision for the Canes as well, as they decide to go quick snap after quick snap, and it works to perfection. And Bosher tacks on the extra point. And it's a 1-possession game as they're down 6 with 1 minute and 18 seconds to go. Where have we seen this before watching this Miami team?
Well, 2 weeks ago against Wake Forest, and the happiest guy on the Hurricane team is Leonard Hankerson. After dropping that long touchdown pass, comes back on 4th and 10, and right, he makes the conversion. And then the no huddle, he makes a grab over the middle, and then Greg Cooper punches it in for the Hurricanes, and a huge drive for the Hurricanes back in this football game, only down 6, and it's still the 3rd quarter.
Now, we saw Miami a couple of weeks ago at Wake Forest get absolutely dominated in the first half by the Demon Deacons. They came out with a tremendous second half, including a 9-play, 82-yard touchdown drive in the last 2 minutes. And they ended up winning that game in cardiac fashion. And the Canes down by 6 now. After going for it, the gamble on 4th and 10 pays off. They keep the drive alive. And they are a team that can drive a defensive coach like Butch Davis crazy because they've been such a quick strike offense this year.
The thing that's really evident about the Miami Hurricanes is their confidence. No matter what situation they get into as a team on Saturday afternoon, they believe that they can win, and everybody on that team believes in Ja'Cory Harris no matter what happens in the first half. You throw 3 picks, don't worry about it. Just come back and play the second half like nothing ever happened. You got to forget about it and move on.
Greg Little takes a knee. Well, again, a couple of weeks ago, Ja'Cory Harris on Halloween engineered a terrific 2-minute drive. Great catch by Theron Collier. That was a 4th and 16 completion to Aldarius Johnson. And then Travis Benjamin picked one right off the turf top, right at the goal line to score the touchdown. And the Canes came from behind and won 28-27. Ja'Cory Harris was a different player in the second half than he was in the first half of that game. He threw 3 interceptions in the first half, but now in charge of the comeback in the second half here at North Carolina. Brian Houston. If you're John Shoop now, Brian, how does your play calling progress now that the momentum has shifted so much towards Miami?
They have been so successful today. They've got 263 yards of offense. That's way above their average for the season. Continue to run your offense just like you have today. Continue to mix in the run with the pass, the screen game, misdirections, allow T.J. Yates to convert with Zach Pianalto on 3rd downs. I think they feel very confident and comfortable with the way T.J. Yates has played. They'll put it in his hands.
Houston on 2nd down. Barely gets out to the 24-yard line. Maybe gained a yard. So now it's 3rd down and 6. And that might take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Little comes up limping. North Carolina does not have to snap the ball before the end of the quarter, and it looks like they're going to let the 3rd quarter clock wind all the way down.
Yeah, Houston rolled right on the back of Little's legs there. He was blocking for his teammate, and that's kind of the collateral damage around the pile when you're blocking as a wide receiver or as an offensive lineman coming up behind you. Opportunity to get rolled up on. He looks okay, though.
What a terrific game through 3 quarters. A 3rd down play coming up for North Carolina when we start the 4th quarter in a moment. But it's a 1-score game as we head to the 4th quarter. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. College sports like a great student section, and that's what they have here at North Carolina. That student section trying to urge on their offense as we start the 4th quarter. A big 3rd down play for the Tar Heels, now with their lead cut down to 6. 4-man rush for Miami. Yates, slow throw. Right into the feet of Jeremy Boyd. And to start the 4th quarter, Miami will get the football back again.
And that was a big 3rd down for North Carolina. They needed a conversion there. Miami came out and played 2 deep, man under. North Carolina had the right route called, crossing route underneath, and just a poor throw by Yates. Didn't step into that throw. He was fading away from the pocket. Didn't get any velocity on the ball and needed to put that on the money. Big stop for Miami.
Returnable kick for Collier. Catches it running away from his coverage team. And now right up the middle into plus territory to the 48-yard line. Kennedy Tinsley brought him down. A 13-yard return, and Collier shaken up. Let's check in with Matt Weiner.
All right, time for our AT&T All-America Player of the Week update. Ole Miss running back Dexter McCluster had a day. 282 yards rushing, a school record, and 4 touchdowns in the rout of Tennessee. To cast your vote, text the word VOTE to 345-345 from your mobile phone.
All right, Matt, thanks very much. Safe to say it wasn't the best week for Tennessee football?
No.
It was a bad week for Lane Kiffin as they lose today after going through big-time controversy. Harris on 1st down. Buys himself some time and throws it away.
Let's go back to that third down play because it's such a crucial play, I think, in this ball game for North Carolina. And T.J. Yates, you're going to see two deep safeties and man underneath. A good play call with a crossing route. Watch the back come out of the backfield. He's going to be wide open, and T.J. Yates had him if he wanted him, but he decided to go on the underneath route and just made a bad throw. But even if it was a good throw, I don't think he makes the first down. He needed to progress to the second progression in that route, which was the back out of the backfield, which was the first down.
Harris sets up the screen. Is that ball loose? Do they call it a fumble? Mike James made the catch. They may rule him down by contact. I shouldn't say down by contact, just down before the ball popped out. Kevin Reddick was there to jump on the loose ball.
Yeah, it looked like he slipped with the ball in his hand, and his knee may have been down. Right there, yeah, his ball comes out when he hits the ground.
Well, a worst case scenario for North Carolina is he's ruled down, and it's still an 8-yard loss. Third down and 18.
And all season, this North Carolina defense has been the part of this team that has really stood up and won games for the Tar Heels. And right here is no different. Another opportunity for them to get a stand.
Harris down the sideline. Benjamin can't adjust. Looking for a flag. None comes out. Charles Brown was there in coverage. And Miami goes backwards on that drive.
North Carolina challenges the wide receiver. Come up and play man coverage. I don't know if that was a go route. Looked like if Ja'Cory Harris would have thrown the ball down the field, Benjamin had him beat. But when he came back for the ball, Brown was in position. And that's a good no call on an interference penalty.
Seventh pass Charles Brown has broken up this season.
You wonder if that was a deep ball again to Benjamin, because he had him beat. Didn't look like he was anticipating coming back for the football. Maybe miscommunication between Benjamin and Ja'Cory Harris.
Play clock down to 2, down to 1, and that should be a delay of game. And it will. The flag comes out as the play clock wound all the way down. North Carolina did a lot of shifting on their punt rush front, and Miami, in trying to adjust, couldn't get their check called out in time.
Delay of game, 25, offense, still fourth down.
Kendrick Burney from the 24-yard line. Makes the first man miss and then stumbles down. A return of only 3 yards after a 37-yard punt. North Carolina trying to protect a 6-point lead with the football when we come back.
You're watching college football.
A tense stadium here in Chapel Hill. Their offense back on the field. North Carolina trying to protect a 6-point lead against number 14 Miami. The Tar Heels have won 4 straight games against ranked opponents, including a win over Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech this year. Ryan Houston. A gain of only a yard or 2. DeMarcus Van Dyke made the stop. Now in the ACC Coastal Division, Georgia Tech already has won the division with a win today against Duke. They've clinched the division title. Miami at 4-2, right there with Virginia Tech. They lost head-to-head against Virginia Tech earlier this season. But at number 14 in the BCS, Miami is still an outside chance at an at-large BCS bid. They need some teams in front of them to lose, certainly. And they have to win out. Houston across the 31-yard line, about 5 yards shy of a first down. And Brian, for T.J. Yates, how hard is it to play quarterback when you feel the momentum turning the other way and the mentality is more protecting the lead than attacking?
Well, it is right there. Miami defensively came up and had everybody in the line of scrimmage. And as a quarterback, you just in the back of your mind say, man, I wish we were throwing the ball right here because I have an opportunity outside to throw the football. But clearly North Carolina does not want to take a risk right now throwing the ball. They want to run it. Miami knows it.
Pump fake on third down. Down the sideline, a jump ball. Making the adjustment is Greg Little, and a flag comes out. Did Greg Little push off?
Yeah, it looked like he did. Just a little push from Greg Little. Big penalty here.
Pass interference, number 8 of the offense at 15-yard previous spot. Repeat, third down.
What a turnaround, and certainly worth another look.
Yeah, it looked like they had a double move on the outside, and a good throw by, here's Little right here, a good throw by Yates to give him a chance, and that's a ticky-tack foul there. That's not, that one, he saw that hand on his shoulder and anticipated that he had pushed off. But I don't think he actually pushed off. I think his hand was just on the guy's shoulder, and he turned around, and he was so wide open, the official thought he had pushed off.
A questionable call, and it hurts Carolina. From 1st and 10 in plus territory to 3rd down and 20 inside their own 20-yard line. Yates wants to set the screen up, but it's not there. Miami had it read perfectly. Houston was not open. The crowd booing maybe the decision by Yates to spike the football, but it was the right decision.
Yeah, there was nothing there for Yates, and you got to burn that one. The big play was the penalty, and I think this crowd is a little has a little distaste for that drive there and for the call by the official. And they've seen some late collapses by this North Carolina team in the second half of some of their losses this year, trying to avoid another one.
The 3rd straight 3 and out, and a returnable kick for Collier to the 46-yard line, and a late flag is thrown. Well after the play had ended, a flag comes out. It was another low, short kick by Grant Shalleck, and the punter got an earful from Butch Davis when he came to the sideline. The crowd wanted a block in the back flag thrown in the first place right as Collier fielded the punt, and in the end the penalty does go against the Canes. During the return, illegal block in the back, 21 by the offense, 10-yard penalty. It's still first down. That's Brandon McGee called for the penalty. So that puts Miami back in Hurricane territory, but they have a chance to take the lead with this next drive.
Once, during a difficult time in my life, my mom gave
a beautiful part of the conference center here on the campus of North Carolina, right around the corner, and that is actually, believe it or not, where Brian Greasy is staying during our trip here to Chapel Hill. The rest of us at a no-tell motel around the corner, desperate just for the ice machine to work, but that last room was actually Brian Greasy's private study attached to his suite.
Tell the truth, you're right next to me.
It's absolutely true. No, it's amazing the accommodations you get hooked up with. Trap handoff. Berry breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage and picks up a first down. Does that young man run hard or what?
He's going to be a player. He's only a junior. He's got another year to come back, and he just runs downhill. We talk with Mark Whipple. He says the thing he does great is he makes one cut and then it's downhill, and that's why he likes to use him almost exclusively up to this date in the season in the red zone. That's why he has 7 touchdowns, but he's getting more and more carries in this offense.
Harris up the seam, incomplete. That time he led LaRon Bird too far.
Corey Harris had time in the pocket. It's just a 3-step drop and a slant flat on the weak side, and did a good job of patient waiting. You're going to see the slant come behind, and Ja'Cory Harris does a good job of holding the football, waiting for him to clear the linebacker. Just a little bit out in front of Bird right there.
Why so inaccurate? Footwork, mechanics, do you see something? Because his accuracy is probably his biggest Achilles heel.
He's the intermediate throws, his accuracy has been off. He's got a long delivery. He needs to shorten up his delivery and he'll be more accurate. If you're longer, there's more opportunity to get in trouble with his delivery.
Play action, middle screen. There goes Damian Berry again with a flag down. all the way to the 33-yard line of North Carolina if the play stands. The flag thrown back at the line of scrimmage right at the snap. This might be the neutral zone.
Offside, 42 of the defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
And it was for Robert Quinn.
And the screen game has been tremendous for the Hurricanes. If they haven't thrown it down the field, it's been the screen game. And North Carolina defensively just cannot help themselves. They want to rush the passer. That's what they do well. And it gets them in trouble on the screen game if the linebackers can't get off blocks to make the tackle.
It's Greg Cooper back in the game as the lone setback with Berry on the sideline. Cooper up the middle. He's got the true freshman Mike linebacker Kevin Reddick all over him. Reddick was number 23 in terms of linebackers in the country in our ESPN.com rankings last year in high school, but he enrolled in January. He actually had mono and missed all of spring practice, so he was to a certain extent a surprise addition as a starter, that inside linebacker for North Carolina.
And Everett Withers was talking about Reddick as kind of a gym rat. Loves the game, loves to learn, and Quan Sturdivant, the junior, has really taken Reddick under his wing and taught him how to play the middle linebacker position.
Harris, that ball hit at the line, and a wobbly throw is intercepted again. Fourth interception of the day by Harris, the third by Kendrick Burney. He's already scored one touchdown on a return today, and he breaks another tackle. And then lost the football. No, he lateraled it. Back to Melvin Williams. There goes Melvin Williams on the handoff from Burney. Stripped from behind by Hankerson, but into the end zone for a touchdown. Butch Davis wants his field goal or extra point unit out on the field as fast as possible. They want to try and kick the extra point before the officials have a chance to review what might be 3 or 4 different elements of that play, but they've already buzzed down.
Take it in. The ruling on the field is a touchdown.
I think that was the longest play in college football this season.
The previous play is under further review.
Was this a forward handoff by Burney to Melvin Williams?
If it was a fumble, let's see.
I think he intends to hand this ball off, and he does. He tossed it forward.
Yeah, they'll be down right there at the 45.
I think his intention was to hand the ball off to Melvin Williams, but he lost control of the ball, and it traveled forward.
Yeah.
What a wild play. And how about Melvin Williams starts to showboat and doesn't realize that Hankerson's coming from behind, and Hankerson may have knocked that ball out before they got across the goal line.
Well, we got to go back to the root of the problem, and another interception, the 4th of the game for Ja'Cory Harris. And how many times is this North Carolina defense going to come up with the big play and make a stop? And again, it was the pressure on Harris that forces the tipped ball interception, and the 3rd interception for Burney. And at some point you have to wonder if you just try not to throw the ball deep. Just try to throw it underneath, and they're not able to protect Ja'Cory Harris in the pocket right now. It's led to 3 interceptions.
Four interceptions by Ja'Cory Harris, 3 by Kendrick Burney. And again, here's another look at what they are looking at. The interception obviously was fine, but Burney trying to take the ball out of his hands and maybe get it over to Melvin Williams. But as he lost control of it, the ball traveled forward.
Yeah, the only way, if they rule it a fumble, then it's not a forward pass, obviously. Then it can continue to advance that ball to the end zone. It looked like it slipped out of his hands, and then he knocked the ball. Now we're in a situation where it has to be inconclusive evidence to show that it was not a forward pass, that it was a fumble. And I don't know that they can reverse this with that replay right there.
So I don't think they can advance a ball that's fumbled forward. Even if they rule that he fumbles the ball here, I don't think you can fumble it forward to a teammate and then have that teammate continue to advance the ball. So no matter what, I think the ball is going to be dead at about the 46-yard line or so, where Kendrick Burney lost control of it. And what also takes a long time in a review like this is not only to determine where the ball ought to be, but also what the clock should read. They have to go back, take a look at the clock, and make sure they reset the game clock to coincide with when the ball popped out and the play should have been dead. Well, here's our decision.
After further review, there were two situations that were confirmed on the field. There was a fumble, there was a recovery, it was carried to the end zone. Before the fumble, the ball broke the plane of the goal line. The call on the field is confirmed.
Wow.
Touchdown.
Second defensive touchdown of the day scored by North Carolina. And needless to say, Randy Shannon disagrees. And the extra point is good. 9:28 to go in regulation time, and North Carolina stretches to a 2-touchdown lead again. After all is said and done, it's a 90-yard touchdown off the fumble by Burney and the continuation by Williams.
Watching
Randy Shannon continuing to plead his case, and what he was telling the officials while we were away was that he still believes that it was Kendrick Burney flipping the ball forward to Melvin Williams. Clearly his intent was to flip it forward, and that he still thinks the play should have been killed at about the 45-yard line, but it was ruled a fumble, and Williams was able to pick up the fumble and send it deep, and now a short kick taken by Sharpton at about the 22-yard line. And he gets out across the 30 to 31. And let's take another look at what was a wild play and the pressure that created the interception.
Yeah, and the key really was the pressure. Again, the play action. And there's pressure inside by Mullins, who gets a hand on Harris, and it looks like deja vu, the same type of play that Burney made in the first half on the interception return. And then when he gets to right here, it looks like he wants to lateral it forward, but instead it slips out of his hand, which by rule is a fumble, and it can be advanced even if it goes forward. So this is a legal play, and Melvin Williams is the beneficiary and just crosses the end zone before Hankerson gets there.
He was lucky. He was showboating a bit. Trap hand off to Cooper, and Greg Cooper drags Bruce Carter close to a first down, a gain of 9. And Brian, that's also one of those big differences between college football and pro football, the fumble forward rule. It was my mistake.
That's
confusing
right,
the rules with the two leagues as the Canes line up to go hurry up. They stretch one to Cooper, and he's got a first down and a lot more. All the way down to the 40-yard line of North Carolina. 20-yard gain.
Now it's important, this North Carolina defense has been on the field for quite some time. Miami is now in a 2-minute offense. They've scored 15 touchdowns in the 2-minute drill this season alone. Now they're going to huddle up, but this is a key situation for the North Carolina defense. Probably tired at this point, but this game is not over by any stretch with 8 minutes and 40 seconds left, and Miami only down by 13 points.
Great catch made by Aldarius Johnson, and what a throw by Ja'Cory Harris. He drives you crazy sometimes with the lollipop nature of his throws. That time it was perfect.
Yeah, we've seen some of the throws needed to have a little bit more zip, but this had just the right amount of touch to drop it in over Kendrick Burney right there, and a good concentration by Aldarius Johnson to get a foot down and secure that catch. Right off the bat, Miami's now threatening, and this is the nature of this offense. Quick strike, a lot of guys that can make big plays, a lot of time left on the clock.
The Canes right back in the red zone with a first down coming up on 8 minutes to play. Back to the ground, and Damian Barry. Down to the 14-yard line, a gain of 3. We've seen Miami, with their no-huddle offense, really keep great rhythm at certain times on some drives. This time a little bit more deliberate. At a time in the game where down 2 scores, you think they might want a quicker pace.
I think when they got down here so fast, they realized, let's slow it down and make sure we get the right call in the red zone.
Harris fires one, end zone, caught, touchdown, Jimmy Graham. Fifth touchdown catch of the season for the former UM basketball star.
There he is right here, 5 touchdowns. He's going to be one-on-one coverage right down the middle of the field. The 2 safeties will split, and it's one-on-one coverage. And Ja'Cory Harris, that time, throws a dart perfectly to Jimmy Graham, and he goes up for the catch.
How about the answer by the Miami offense?
How about the confidence of Ja'Cory Harris after 4 interceptions to come back and lead his team right down the field? He's got amnesia, no memory of those interceptions.
Midway through the 4th quarter of a wild one. Jimmy Graham, the quick strike touchdown completed by Miami, and it's a 1-possession game again.
On a road trip, I map out.
One defense in the ACC. Only 2 other times this season have they allowed a team to score over 17 points in a game, and both of those games they lost. They lost to Georgia Tech. They lost to Florida State. 7 out of 9 opponents they have held to 17 points or less. The 3rd team to hang more than 17 on them now is Miami, but Miami still trails by a touchdown. And here's Greg Little on the kickoff return. Now to about the 25-yard line as we take a look at the Pacific Life game summary, and what a day it's been for Kendrick Burney.
Certainly has. He has 3 interceptions on the day, 2 of them resulting in touchdowns, but he's got to take his defensive line and linebackers up front out to dinner after this game, because they have set him up for 2 of those interceptions. The last one coming right here, really a game changer in the 4th quarter. This defense now has 15 turnovers in the last 5 games alone, averaging 3 a game. They're really playing well.
Ryan Houston right into Darryl Sharpton. Can their offense now chew up enough time to get the game over with?
That's a good point. There's 7 minutes left in the game, and for all the fireworks that you've seen from Miami offensively as well as defensively for North Carolina, the North Carolina offense can silence everything right now with a good drive put together that could ice this football game. They need conversions on 3rd downs. They're going to need to run the football and play action. Look for them to get some rollouts, some nakeds to get Yates on the edge and convert.
See if they attack with their play calling. 2nd down and long. Play action. Yates rolls. Finds his man. Kevin Ramsey up the sideline. That's a 1st down. Out to the 38-yard line. The fullback converts. Gain of 13.
And a perfect play call by John Shoop. It's what we talked about. Get him outside the pocket with a run-pass option. Miami's expecting them to run the football. They're going to pack it in tight, and you get Yates on the edge and get the ball out to your fullback. A good gain on 1st down, and the key to this drive will be 1st down efficiency. You don't want to be in any 3rd and long, so 1st and 2nd down will be key.
And the sophomore fullback Kevin Ramsey shaken up on that last play.
Comes the blitz.
Here comes the end around. Cutback lane for Jeremy Boyd. He's got a 1st down to the 49-yard line. Right behind the tight end, Zach Pianalto.
And the key to this play was the block by the wide receiver. You're going to see him come around on the edge, but he gets a good block. Allows him to get the 1st down there, but you're going to see creative ways now for North Carolina to run the football, whether it's inside with Houston pounding the rock or whether it's on the reverse with the wide receivers.
And if you're Miami's defense, you probably have to think of your own 25-yard line as the goal line. That's probably how you have to play, right? 1st down for North Carolina at midfield. Hand off to Houston. Inside the 45 down to the 44-yard line. Again, Jimmy Johnson's misfortune in Texas opens the door for Mark Martin. With just 2 races left, the pressure is on as the chase heads west. The chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup continues at Phoenix tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern on ABC. Telecast presented by Goodyear. And Brian, the reason I say that is if you get to the 25-yard line and kick a field goal, you're up by 9. It's a 2-possession game.
Yeah, no, you're right. But I think North Carolina's done a good job. That last play looked exactly the same as the end-around run, and we talked to John Chape yesterday, and he said we have a lot of plays that look the same but are different. And it was key there, the same look, and then you got Houston up the middle for a good game.
There goes Houston again. First down, North Carolina, as we check in with Matt Weiner.
All right, Bob, the very first automatic BCS bid of the season was just earned by Ohio State. Devin Barkley, 39-yard field goal in overtime to beat Iowa. The Buckeyes claim at least a share of the Big Ten, 27-24.
Boy, what a great finish at the Horseshoe, and we might be in store for a similar finish here with 4.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, and give the young quarterback Vandenberg from Iowa credit to go into the Horseshoe. Not an easy place to play and force overtime in that game. Just came up a little short.
Houston finds a crease, ran right behind the run blitz, and he's close to another first down.
Colin McCarthy came on the outside on a will blitz. You see him on the top of your screen there, and Ryan Houston goes right by him and leaves a hole where McCarthy was supposed to be in his will linebacker position, but when he came on the blitz, there was nobody left. And Houston did a good job getting upfield. They're getting big chunks on first down, 6 yards, 8 yards. Right there was 9.5 yards, and that was the key to the success on this drive.
Second down and short, 3.5 minutes to go. Houston has the first down to the 25-yard line. So from right here, as the clock stops on the first down, you're very well into field goal range. For those of you just joining us, welcome to Chapel Hill and Kenan Stadium. Number 14, Miami, on the ropes at North Carolina. The Tar Heels have 2 defensive touchdowns, and they put 30 points on the board. Miami, with some quick strike drives, continue to answer, but they can't trade scores now with 3 minutes to go. North Carolina at the 25-yard line, certainly in field goal range to potentially make this a 2-possession game. Bob Wischusen and Brian Greasy with you, and there's a handoff to Ryan Houston. And the North Carolina workhorse down inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line. And now, Brian, you start to wonder if Miami thinks about using their timeouts. They've got 2 left, and they might have just called one now.
That's their second timeout of the half. That's a 30-second team timeout.
So UM is hanging their hopes on getting a stop defensively right here.
And again, right there, another positive play on first down, a 6-yard gain. You're going to get a steady diet of Ryan Houston. That was his 23rd carry on the night, and at 245 pounds, you're going to continue to give him the football.
The story for the Canes, though, has been turnovers for Ja'Cory Harris. He's got 4 interceptions, 3 by Kendrick Burney.
Yeah, 4 interceptions, and I don't care what team you are. If you're -4 in the turnover margin on the road in a hostile environment against a good defense, it's going to be very difficult to win.
Now, if you are John Chape and you're play calling here for North Carolina, are you playing for the field goal? Do you simply want to take the clock down as far as possible, or you are aggressive to try and pick up one more first down and maybe end the game on this drive?
I don't really care about the field goal. All I want is to get time off of the clock. So I want TJ Yates to use every single second of that play clock, force Miami to use their timeouts. Let's convert a first down here, and we can run the clock out and not have to worry about anything.
Second down handoff to Houston, and he maybe picked up a half a yard. Miami will spend their last timeout. And Randy Shannon ran out onto the field by about 4 yards to call it. Ja'Cory Harris just hoping for one more chance.
And so the worst thing that happens now for North Carolina is they don't convert on the 3rd and 4, and they have to kick the field goal. But what they really want is to convert, obviously, this 3rd down and be able to run the clock out and the game's over. Right here is a perfect opportunity for this North Carolina offense to use a snap count, use a hard count. It's 3rd and 4. You know Miami's going to want to come up and make a play. and maybe you get a cheap one. You know, that's part of managing the football game as a quarterback. Sometimes you can outsmart the other team from that position, and John Shoop may be relaying that to TJ Yates right now, but I look for him to get Yates outside the pocket with another run-pass option, a safe throw. The last thing you want is a turnover here. A safe throw. If it's not there, get on the ground and kick the field goal.
That's a great point as well. If you're the quarterback, the option here, even if it's not there, is to not throw it away on third down.
No,
like you said, get on the ground and take as much time off the clock as possible. Now a first down for North Carolina. The game's over. With a 40-second play clock, you can get it inside of 2 minutes and take a knee. Here's the rollout on third down. Yates throws it to the sideline, very close to a first down, and knocked out of bounds. Bobby Rome made the catch, but he might be a yard shy. It's at the 16-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like they marked him a yard shy. But they ruled him inbounds, and so now the clock is still going to run.
Well, how do you rule him inbounds?
It looks like his knee may have been down.
Wow.
North Carolina may have got away with one right there.
It looked like he fell out of bounds, which would have resulted in the clock stopping pretty clearly.
It looked like his knee was down inside of the chalk there, and so the referee signaled to run the clock.
So they're going to take the play clock all the way down and call a timeout. Let's take another look.
You can watch his left knee.
Great call.
Right there. Good call by the official. And I got to be honest, they got away with one right there because I thought that Yates should have just slid down, but he got lucky with that knee coming down.
So really it comes down to this for the hopes for Miami and maybe a win for North Carolina. Casey Barth has been perfect so far today. He came into today having made 9 field goals in a row. The former walk-on, a sophomore, and the younger brother of Connor Barth, who's the all-time field goal leader here at North Carolina, with a chance to make it a 2-possession game with 2 minutes to go. If he misses, then Ja'Cory Harris would have one more chance, and Miami's offense this year has put together 17 drives where they've scored points in under 2 minutes, and 15 of those 17 drives have been touchdown drives. 33-yard field goal attempt. Tough snap. Wow, they got it down. And he puts it through. Trace Jones, the holder, did a great job to handle a tricky snap and get the placement down for Barth. And now the Canes are in big trouble.
And everybody's congratulating the holder on the sideline for a great job at a high snap. Great job getting that ball down. Who says the holder's not important?
So Butch Davis, who is as responsible as anyone in the history of Miami's football program for getting them back to respectability and turning that program against all odds when he took over in the mid-90s when Miami was down scholarships. They were faced with NCAA sanctions. His first year they were down 31 scholarships, but he coached them to a tremendous season. And by the year 2000, they were #2 in America, and then they won the national championship the year he left to go to Cleveland to coach the Browns. And now he's here at North Carolina trying to build this North Carolina program into the same type thing.
And he's building it. I mean, look at the last 3 games that North Carolina's played. They beat Virginia Tech. Then they beat a surging Duke team that had the #1 offense in the ACC. Now they're up. Looks like they're going to beat the Miami Hurricanes. And he's only got 4 seniors playing, so most of these guys are coming back for next year. I shudder to think what this defense is going to look like with all these guys as seniors next year.
A low kick at the 10-yard line on the back pedal. It's Mike James. Pretty good return out to the 35-yard line. ABC Thursday. What if you saw a future in which your life was changed for the better? An unforgettable story about the power of believing. ABC's Flash Forward, all new, Thursday, 8/7 Central on ABC. Bob will shoes it at Brian Greasy here in Chapel Hill. Ja'Cory Harris has thrown 4 interceptions, and now he's got no timeouts and 1:51 to work with to bring his team from 2 scores down. Cooper trying to get to the sideline. And he ran a long way to pick up 2 yards and lose 8 seconds in the process. It's a good decision, though. The time is more important than the yardage there.
Yeah, he was just trying to stop the clock there. So a good job by him and effort getting out of bounds. And I know these Canes have been good in the 2-minute drill, and they've been good at the end of games and pulled out some really bad situations with some wins, but they've really put themselves in a hole here with turnovers tonight.
North Carolina still bringing a 4-man rush. Harris over the middle. Hankerson's got it to the 31-yard line. That'll stop the clock on the first down with 1:36 to go.
And again, when Ja'Cory Harris has time in the pocket and feels secure and throws with anticipation, he is accurate right there. A good throw over the linebacker and a 2-deep coverage to Hankerson down the middle.
Harris again looks for the big play into the end zone. Incomplete. Melvin Williams back covering Hankerson. A quick check in with Matt Weiner again.
All right, Bob, Georgia Tech won the ACC's Coastal Division today. The Atlantic remains up for grabs because BC was able to come from behind at Virginia. Dave Shinsky with the sneak, that was the difference. And if you're just with us, Ohio State beats Iowa in overtime. The Buckeyes claim the very first BCS automatic bid of the season.
Finally, Matt Weiner with some good news for somebody on our crew.
For you.
Boston College wins, and Ohio State wins as well. Ja'Cory Harris sets up the screen. That's going nowhere. That's a terrible decision by Miami as Bruce Carter brings down Cooper. A big loss, and it keeps the clock rolling. A loss of 6, and now Miami has to bring their receivers, who some of which were down near the end zone, all the way back to the line of scrimmage and get set as we come up on a minute to go.
And it's 3rd down, so they can't just get up and spike it. A great play by Bruce Carter, number 54, the linebacker for North Carolina, to sniff out that screen.
Harris over the middle. Hankerson's got it. Down to the 16-yard line, and now you have to spike it with 47 seconds to go. You need to stop the clock here. And let's see if that's what Harris does. It looks like he's going to get his team set and spike the ball. No, he'll throw it to the near side. Hankerson. Keep the clock rolling with 11 at the 11-yard line. Down to 35 seconds to go.
Looked like his butt came down inbounds.
Well, forward progress was certainly stopped inbounds.
Forward progress, yeah.
Fumbled snap. Ja'Cory Harris goes down. Tydreek Powell credited with the sack. Down to 15 seconds to go. Miami may not get more than one more snap off. Down to 5 seconds, and it's spiked, but that'll do it. You need 2 scores, and you only have time for 1 play. So North Carolina is going to knock off their 5th straight ranked opponent.
And you play with fire. The Miami Hurricanes have made a living of coming back late in ball games using their 2-minute drill. But when you turn the ball over 4 times in a game on the road, you cannot expect to win in the end. And the Cardiac Canes have finally come up short.
To the end zone on the last play. Incomplete. That's a great win for North Carolina and a terrific win for Butch Davis. Four interception day for Ja'Cory Harris, and it dearly costs the Hurricanes.